found in at least 50 different plant species. DMT has also been found in mammals like rats and rabbits. In the 1960s, a German researcher team even found traces of the substance in human blood. Shortly after, US Nobel Prize-winning scientist Julius Axelrod provided evidence that DMT occurs naturally in the human brain. It's even considered endogenous, meaning our own bodies produce it naturally.
There's a saying that says DMT is everywhere, and it is also found in the human body and in a lot of mammals' bodies as well.
Throughout the 1960s, scientists keep isolating DMT in humans, animals, and plants. And meanwhile, psychedelics are starting to seep into popular culture.
How often have you taken LSD?
This is the Beatles?
4 times.
The swinging 60s are the peak years of the hippie movement and psychedelics like LSD. The Cultural Revolution is
How was acid invented? Mixing a bunch of chemicals. And then not knowing the
November
fucking doses.
1852. This is British botanist Richard Spruce. For the past 3 years, he's been making...
The mystery of the world's strongest drug.
This is test subject 34.
The mystery of the world's strongest drug.
This is test subject 34. She has just been given a substance often described as the most powerful psychedelic drug in the world.
Frog poison. 5-MeO-DMT.
It makes her feel like she's being launched into outer space. Other users report near-death experiences, profound insights, and mythical encounters with spiritual beings. The drug appears to shake the very foundations of human perception.
It is one of the most weird and unexpected things a person can go through.
Well, I also feel like being in an experiment where you're given DMT is... I'm assuming it's DMT, because that's the strongest drug. No, it's not salvia, because she was... Salvia, you have to smoke. DMT... Well, DMT, you also smoke. Well, how are they giving this to her in a hospital? Maybe a pill? I don't know. It has to be DMT, though, because DMT is the strongest. DMT is the thing that's released in your brain when you die, in smaller amounts, though. But dimethyltryptamine, taking this in a hospital setting would be fucking utterly terrifying. Obviously, I've never taken DMT, so I don't know what it's like, but I've seen, you know, videos of people take DMT, bro. They start tweaking. Imagine being on a fucking hospital bed. Beep, beep, beep. Those blinding lights. I would convince myself that I'm dying.
We're talking about dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. In its pure synthetic form, it looks like an inconspicuous crystalline powder.
It's a very simple molecule.
Bro, who was I talking to? Who was I talking? Was this on stream? Or was I having this conversation elsewhere? I knew a guy that was given a vape and he hit it and it was a DMT vape and the guy told him that it was a weed vape. And then he started bugging out. I don't think I was told this story on stream. I think I heard the mystery of the world's strongest drug.
This is test subject 34. She has just been given a substance often described as the most powerful psychedelic drug in the world.
This off stream. I don't think I've ever told it though. I forget who told me that. That would be terrible. Imagine that. I forget who told me that. Frog poison. 5-MeO-DMT. Like, no, I had a good time. I'm like, dude, I would have been fucking tweaking, man. Imagine you...
It makes her feel like she's being launched into outer space. Thousands of years. It occurs naturally in plants, animals, and even in the human body. But when other users report near-death experiences,
you know, DMT is the strongest type of DMT, and it's from the secretion frogs hat, a Sonoran toad.
Profound insights and mythical encounters with spiritual beings.
Off of its back, dry it, and then smoke it.
Interacts with our brain, things seem to go completely off the rails.
DMT is... I'm assuming it's DMT, because that's the strongest drug. No, it's not salvia, because she was... Salvia, you have to smoke. DMT... Well, DMT, you also smoke. Well, how are they giving this to her in a hospital? Maybe a pill? I don't know. It has to be DMT, though.
Many users say DMT fundamentally changed their lives. And yet, other experiences suggest...
Because DMT is the strongest. DMT is the thing that's released in your brain when you die. In smaller amounts, though. But, dimethyltryptamine, taking this in a hospital setting would be fucking utterly terrifying. Obviously, I've never taken DMT, so I don't know what it's like, but
There's more to DMT than profound revelations.
I remember when Joe did this one stream, I've seen, you know, videos of people take DMT, bro. They start tweaking. Imagine being on a fucking hospital bed. Beep. Beep. 5-MeO DMT. Yeah, I captured a Sonoran Toad IRL stream. Me and fucking those blinding lights. I would convince myself that I'm dying. The desert, captured a Sonoran Toad, fucking scared it and smoked it.
We're talking about dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, in its pure synthetic form.
Sitting there going,
It looks like an inconspicuous crystalline powder.
It's a very simple molecule.
Bro, who was I talking to? Was this on stream? Or was I having
Mystical encounters and medical promise.
noting this conversation elsewhere? I knew a guy that was given a vape and he hit it.
For some people, the substance can also open doors to the darkest corners of their
Not Phase anymore, just Lacey, sorry. Somebody told me that story and I remember I was talking to, it was a guy. I think it was at a bar. And I was like, bro, were you upset? He was like,
consciousness. This is the enduring mystery of DMT.
like, no, I had a good time. I'm like, dude, I would have been fucking tweaking, man. Imagine your friend, you're drunk. Your friend hands you a fucking vape and he's like, oh, don't worry, it's THC. You fucking hit that shit. DMT, and it's from the secretion frogs a Sonoran toad has. And the Sonoran toad releases this like whitish pus poison. And so they'll put the frog out of nowhere. What is this intro? Off of its back, dry it, and then smoke it.
Interacts with our brain, things seem to go completely off the rails.
These types of visuals are common on hallucinogens, and people always see them.
Many users say DMT fundamentally changed their lives. And yet, other experiences suggest
Then they're like, oh, that's what tripping's like. I'm like, dude, when you're tripping and you're actually seeing like not holograms, what are they called? It's in your eyes. The fractals. When you're seeing the fractals, like a kaleidoscope, when you're seeing those kaleidoscope visuals and you're like, dude, the amount of people that I'll see in like
there's more to DMT than profound revelations.
I remember when Joe did this one stream, comment sections, when it's like LSD trip visualization. It'll be some 15-year-old like 5-MeO DMT. Yeah, I captured a Sonoran Toad IRL stream. Me and fucking, oh, this would be awesome. I can't wait to take acid. I'm like, yo, it's different from seeing it on a screen versus it being in your fucking brain. Phase Lacey. Me and Lacey went to the middle of the main, dude. That and you're hallucinating, you're hearing shit. Everything's heightened. You're basically taking desert, captured a Sonoran Toad, fucking scared it and smoked it. Poison, right? Because you're fucking tripping balls, dude. If it's like, it depends if it's like still sitting there going, Simon, because that's like bug poison. But I think this visual is supposed to be the guy that invented acid. That's a crazy story.
Mystical encounters and medical promise.
No guy that invented acid took it on the way home from the lab. He rode his bike back and he was tripping balls. Imagine inventing acid. Lacey, sorry.
Consciousness. This is the enduring mystery of DMT.
And then being the first guy to take it. Out of nowhere, what is this intro? And it mixing a bunch of chemicals. And then not knowing the
November
fucking doses.
1852. This is British botanist Richard Spruce. For the past 3 years, he's been making his way through the Amazon rainforest to study plants.
These types of visuals are common on hallucinogens, and people always see them and they're like, oh, that's what tripping's like. I'm like, dude, when you're tripping and you're actually seeing like not holograms, what are they called? Ayahuasca. I'm calling it.
Particularly interested in mosses.
It's in your eyes. The fractals. When you're seeing the fractals, like a kaleidoscope. When you're seeing those kaleidoscope visuals.
Along the way, he keeps encountering indigenous communities living deep in the jungle. He learns their languages and studies their customs.
And you're like, dude, the amount of people that I'll see in like
Right now, Spruce is staying with an indigenous group.
Comment sections when it's like LSD trip visualization. It'll be some 15-year-old like, oh, this would be awesome. I can't wait to take acid. I'm like, yo, it's different from seeing it on a screen versus it being in your fucking brain.
In what is now northwestern Brazil. Today is a special occasion. The tribe is about to hold a spiritual ceremony, and at the center of it all is this ritual brew.
psilocybin because that's like bug poison. But I think this visual is supposed to be the guy that invented acid. That's a crazy story. Guy that invented acid took it on the way home from the lab. He rode his bike back.
Its key ingredient is a specific type of liana. Indigenous people have been drinking or chewing it for thousands of years.
And he was tripping balls. Imagine inventing acid. Okay, I'm dead wrong. Fuck! I took psychopharmacology in college. Don't they take ayahuasca in like South America? And then being the first guy to take it. How was acid invented? Mixing a bunch of chemicals. And then not knowing the
November
fucking doses.
1852. This is British botanist Richard Spruce. For the past 3 years, he's been making his way through the Amazon rainforest to study plants. He's
Ayahuasca. I'm calling it.
particularly interested in mosses.
Dude, you're in the fucking middle of a jungle. Fires around you. You're some fucking like British explorer, dude. You're with all these tribal guys that have been taking this shit for fucking centuries. And they're like, drink this.
Along the way, he keeps encountering indigenous communities living deep in the jungle. He learns their languages and studies their customs. He watches several young members of the community drink the mixture before him. Right now, Spruce is staying with an indigenous group. He notes that, for about 10 minutes, they appear to be possessed with reckless fury. Then they calm down and simply continue dancing, in what is now northwestern Brazil. Today is a special occasion. The tribe is about to hold a spiritual ceremony, and at the center of it all is this ritual brew. Its key ingredient is a specific type of liana. Indigenous people have been drinking or chewing it for thousands of years. Some groups call it napa, others bako, or pinde. Then it's his turn. But the tribe didn't just prepare
Okay, I'm dead wrong. Fuck! I took psychopharmacology in college. Don't they take ayahuasca in like South America?
for him.
I had scarcely dispatched 1 cup of
This group calls it kapi. And tonight, Spruce is going to try it himself.
the nauseous beverage when the ruler of the feast came up with a woman bearing a large calabash of mandioca beer.
Dude, you're in the fucking middle of a jungle. Fires around you. You're some fucking like British explorer, dude. You're with all these tribal guys that have been taking this shit for fucking centuries. And they're like, drink this.
He watches several young members of the community drink the mixture before him. He notes that, for about 10 minutes, they appear to be possessed with reckless fury.
Called kashery.
After that, protocol demands that he top things off with a cigar and a cup of palm wine. Then it's his turn. But the tribe didn't just prepare
And this motherfucker just a pot of liquid and go, you gotta drink this, smoke a cigar, and then have some wine. What? I'd be like, am I
for him.
I had scarcely dispatched 1 cup of
am I at an ASU frat party right now?
the nauseous beverage when the ruler of the feast came up with a woman bearing a large calabash of mandioca beer.
Oh, what's fucking happening, bro? we're doing the fucking dynamic trio here.
Called kashery.
After that, protocol demands that he top things off with a cigar and a cup of palm wine.
What? They just hand this motherfucker just a pot of
Spruce has to fight off the urge to vomit and stretches out in a hammock. The kapi is slowly kicking in.
liquid and go, you gotta drink this, smoke a cigar, and then have some wine. What? I'd be like, am I? God, dude, the urge to vomit. I haven't taken any other hallucinogens outside of mushrooms, but they're at am I at an ASU frat party right now? Feeling gross.
Later notes in his journal that white men taking kapi all seem to report the same experience.
Oh, what's fucking happening, bro? we're doing the fucking dynamic trio here.
Spruce has to fight off the urge to vomit and stretches out in a hammock. The kapi is slowly kicking in.
They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and
God, dude, the urge to vomit. I haven't taken any other hallucinogens outside of mushrooms, but they're really so accurate. Holy fuck. I don't know about this drug, but that is so accurate for what hallucinations look like. Urge to fucking vomit after eating mushrooms is so bad. When you start hallucinating, you start feeling gross.
Later notes in his journal that white men taking kapi all seem to report the same experience.
They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and
oh my god. Yeah, staring at the sky and just seeing that.
boldness.
Like the trees are moving.
Sight is disturbed and vision. They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and boldness.
What? Yo, that is actually so accurate. Holy fuck. I don't know about this drug, but that is so accurate for what hallucinations look like.
Experience.
They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and
Oh my god. Yeah, staring at the sky and just seeing that.
boldness.
Like the trees are moving.
Sight is disturbed, and visions pass rapidly before the eyes, wherein everything gorgeous and magnificent they have heard or read of seems combined, and presently the scene changes to things uncouth and horrible.
Hey, this is Jonas, one of the founders of Fern. It's not just psychedelics that can shape our minds. Our thoughts.
Is this an ad?
10% off your first month.
Spruce calls the plant Banisteria caapi. Banisteria was the term used at the time for a class of tropical climbing plants. Caapi is an indigenous word for grass. He samples a couple of those vines, dries them, and has them shipped to England. Over the following years, Spruce keeps traveling.
Yo, side note, I gotta say, herbal psychopharmacology was the second best class I have ever taken in all of the 4 years of college I had. It is such an interesting class. Like, normally I hate, like, the nitty-gritty science of, like, what makes up something. But learning about, like, how certain drugs affect the mind and the body is fascinating. The mystery of the world's strongest drug.
This is test subject 34. She has just been given a substance often described as the most powerful psychedelic drug in the world.
Frog poison. 5-MeO-DMT.
It makes her feel like she's being launched into outer space. Other users report near-death experiences, profound insights, and mythical encounters with spiritual beings. The drug appears to shake the very foundations of human perception.
It is one of the most weird and unexpected things a person can go through.
Well, I also feel like being in an experiment where you're given DMT is... I'm assuming it's DMT, because that's the strongest drug. No, it's not salvia, because salvia you have to smoke. DMT... Well, DMT, you also smoke. Well, how are they giving this to her in a hospital? Maybe a pill? I don't know. It has to be DMT, though, because DMT is the strongest. DMT is the thing that's released in your brain when you die, in smaller amounts, though. But dimethyltryptamine, taking this in a hospital setting would be fucking utterly terrifying. Obviously, I've never taken DMT, so I don't know what it's like. But I've seen, videos of people take DMT, bro. They start tweaking. Imagine being on a fucking hospital bed. Beep, beep, beep. Those blinding lights. I would convince myself that I'm dying.
We're talking about dimethyltryptamine, or DMT. In its pure synthetic form, it looks like an inconspicuous crystalline powder.
It's a very simple molecule.
Bro, who was I talking to? Was this on stream? Or was I having this conversation elsewhere? I knew a guy that was given a vape and he hit it and it was a DMT vape and the guy told him that it was a weed vape. And then he started bugging out. I don't think I was told this story on stream. I think I heard this off stream. I don't think I've ever told it though. I forget who told me that. That would be terrible. Imagine that. I forget who told me that. Somebody told me that story and I remember I was talking to, it was a guy. I think it was at a bar. And I was like, bro, were you upset? He was like, no, I had a good time. I'm like, dude, I would have been fucking tweaking, man. Imagine your friend, you're drunk. Your friend hands you a fucking vape and he's like, oh, don't worry, it's THC. You fucking hit that shit, it's DMT. You just start tripping balls in public. Huh.
And yet, DMT has been puzzling scientists around the globe for more than a century. The substance has been used in indigenous cultures for thousands of years. It occurs naturally in plants, animals, and even in the human body. But when
I always wonder how they figure that shit out from frogs. Because 5-MeO-DMT is the strongest type of DMT. And it's from the secretion frogs a Sonoran toad has. And the Sonoran toad releases this like whitish pus poison. And so they'll put the frog on like a platform and poke it to scare it, and then they'll scrape the poison off of its back, dry it, and then smoke it.
Interacts with our brain, things seem to go completely off the rails. Many users say DMT fundamentally changed their lives. And yet, other experiences suggest there's more to DMT than profound revelations.
I remember when Joe did this one stream, 5-MeO-DMT? Yeah, I captured a Sonoran toad IRL stream. Me and fucking FaZe Lacey. Me and Lacey went to the middle of the desert, captured a Sonoran toad, fucking scared it and smoked it. Sitting there going,
mystical encounters, and medical promise.
nope,
For some people, the substance can also open doors to the darkest corners of their
not phase anymore, just Lacey, sorry.
consciousness. This is the enduring mystery of DMT.
Because now you're not only just learning about like hallucinogens, you're learning about like what is that? Or out of nowhere, what is this intro? These types of visuals are common on hallucinogens. Diagnosed sociopath explains life without empathy, guilt, or remorse.
So no, I've never wanted to kill cats. And I'm going to be specific there. Not cats. There are things I've done in my childhood, but never to cats.
Like killing other animals? What do you mean? Like other animal cruelty, but so dogs? Well, I'm assuming it just means any animal that isn't a cat. How do you get diagnosed as a sociopath? Do you just go to a psychiatrist and say that you're suspecting that you have, you know, sociopathic tendencies? Because you don't just go to a doctor and they say that. I'm assuming you have to, like, go at a younger age or maybe early adulthood when you're, like, suspected of it.
What is your personal definition of a sociopath? Well, to me, a sociopath is someone who has been diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder and has specific antisocial behaviors. I would say a sociopath is someone who does not have empathy, who does not have remorse, and doesn't have guilt. I personally don't think that there's...
Is that something that's genetic or developmental? Because I can't imagine a full lack of empathy. Like being unable to feel remorse or bad for somebody in a situation that's not your own. It's like a high level, it's like a higher level of narcissism. Because narcissists could still feel bad for people or feel remorse. But it's like the step up.
Guilt, because it's just a useless emotion.
And the clinical diagnosis.
Guilt is a useless emotion.
Anxiety for guilt, because it's just a useless emotion.
And the clinical diagnosis,
Yeah.
does that differ from that?
Sociopathy is not a medical term. So when people talk about it, it's usually informal. I know I use it informally. It doesn't have it is not in the DSM. You need to be diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, which is characterized by a lack of empathy, guilt, and remorse. A lot of people claim to be sociopaths, and they think, oh, I've done bad things before. Am I a sociopath? And the answer is no. Most of you still have empathy, guilt, and remorse, and what people like to call it conscience. We don't have that.
But is that a lack of emotions as a whole? Like, how do you not have empathy but still feel sadness, grief, and happiness? To me, it feels like an all or nothing thing, no? I'm not disagreeing with this. Like, I know this is like we're talking about like something that actually exists in today's world. I'm saying I'm confused personally on the idea that like you could feel like sadness or, you know, happiness, but not feel regret, remorse, guilt.
Are you born a sociopath, or do you become one?
I just asked that. That's the fucking... Dude, I love that. That was a question. I was hoping that would be answered.
I'm in the firm belief that anyone with factor 1 traits, which is the callousness, the grandiosity, the glibness, the charm, that's all born. You're born with that. And that's where the distinction comes in between sociopathy and psychopathy. So psychopathy is based on the Hare checklist, which is the work of a clinical psychologist who is Canadian. And so there's a lot of traits that can be ascribed to factor 1 versus factor 2. So factor 1 is when you don't commit like crimes out of passion. You don't react out of heat, out of anger in the moment. You react out of coldness and a long calculated strategy. And that's what I believe I have. The thing is I'm...
That's like fucking terrifying. How do you have friendships if everything's like a cold, calculated response? Like, how do you have a social life? I know it's like sociopaths have antisocial behavior, but they put on a fake social, you know, outwardness, like an extroverted persona.
I'm not impulsive and reckless. I am when it comes to adventures. I am not when it comes to revenge and plots. I can spend a year, 2 years working on a plot to get back at somebody.
What? 2 years? 2 years getting back at somebody? Oh my God, what is this, war? Being like holding a grudge for that long? Holy shit. I don't think that's like coldness. That's like a deep-rooted like anger is how I would see that. I know it is more cold because like the level of calculatedness is like very long term. Like you're not going to have that emotion for such a long time. So it's seen as like a more neutral, just like numbness. I hate meal planning. Every time I go to the grocery store, I buy one of the same 4 things because it's what I know how to make, and I'm too scared to branch out because I don't know what I should get. I don't know what I should make. With HelloFresh, they make that process so much easier, not only by having the produce and meal kits delivered directly to your door, but also in conveniently packed meal kit prep plans that you're able to make in 30 minutes or less. All the ingredients are delivered fresh to your door with a simple, easy-to-use instruction packet on how to make the dish itself. I mean, look at the options. With endless new stuff every week, you're bound to find something that you're ready to enjoy. So check out HelloFresh and use my code JOBYFM at HelloFresh.com to get 10 free meals and free shipping. Free meals are applied as discount on the first box. New or returning subscribers only. Varies by plan. Sign up today. Use my code JOBYFM at HelloFresh.com or click the link in the description. Thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. And let's get back into it.
Do not get into fistfights. I do not get aggressive. I do not do things that will cost me my freedom, my life, and my social circle.
But then what the fuck are you doing for 2 years to get back at somebody? Like plotting the death of their grandmother? Like, I don't understand. Like, what in a long-term scale is revenge in a 2-year span? Like filter, like slowly inputting like higher doses of like mercury into their water or something? Like make them do something, sabotage? No, but I feel like it'd be like, you're like slowly implementing like mercury into their water so eventually they die. Like, I don't understand.
How can you spot a sociopath? The funny thing is, people think sociopaths are going to be scary in person, that they're, there's a distinction between them and other people. The truth is, there really isn't. What I notice in a fellow sociopath is the eyes. The eyes are pretty soulless. If you see me get angry, you will see my eyes become soulless. But I personally had to teach myself how to blink more often because I was freaking people out. And so
what? She had to tell herself to manually blink more?
that's something that you will notice. The ability to hold eye contact for as long as possible. Usually because we don't have the same strength.
Ooh, I be darting away, dude. I can't keep eye contact that long in conversation. I'm not gonna like not look at you ever. But like, okay, say we're having a conversation. Hey, how are you doing? Yeah, so the other day I was just, I was on the street and I passed this one guy and he didn't really like look at me in the way that I thought he would. And so it's like you kind of like dab back and forth. You look away, you look at your surroundings, you look back. You look away, you look at your surroundings, you look back. When they're talking, I look directly at them as a sign of respect. But when I'm talking, I won't look into your eyes the whole time. Because when somebody's talking to you, you look at them to show that you're paying attention. That's a level of respect. Is like, if I'm talking, you look at me, because when you're looking at me, you're saying I'm obviously paying attention to what you're saying. But if I'm talking, I'm not going to stare you down. You have autism. I've never been tested. I'm fairly certain I don't have autism. I am unable to look at people in a conversation for extended periods of time. Like, I would not stare at you.
People were also very calm in tough situations, and we're calm when we even get like almost hit by a car, like I was the other day. My heart rate did not go up at all. So when you notice someone who is exceptionally calm, exceptionally good in stress, it's highly likely that they could be a sociopath.
Well, that's what John Kiriakou, the CIA whistleblower, was saying. He said the people they want for the CIA have sociopathic tendencies.
Do you have friends? I'm a sociopath. I'm not like a serial killer, okay? Of course I
All right, well, we started this video by saying you kill animals that aren't cats, which is very vague.
have friends. Like, do you think I'm like AI or something? I have so many friends. I've had long-term friends. I've had people who I find to be disposable. And so
Yeah, but I feel like she never has a true friend. The way that she's explaining it is like a sociopath would never be able to have that deep-rooted connection with somebody. Like in the Aristotle sense of like utility friends, and then, you know, she has friends that have purposeful, you know, relationships with her where it's like, hey, we're coworkers. I need you to be my friend so we can help each other with this. And then she has friends that she enjoys hanging out with. But it's like, the way that she's describing herself emotionally makes it seem like she could never have like a deep understanding connection-wise with another person.
I've had people who I find to be disposable. And so I'll get rid of them when they stop having a use. But my real friend.
Okay. See, like that. See, like that's crazy. Like the way that she's describing disposable friends, the average person would just say, they're my acquaintance. Like I have people that are acquaintances where we are friends due to circumstance. But I would not be like, you're a disposable friend when you're no longer of use to me. I would get rid of you. I feel like that's a very cold take.
Who are within the core, they get the best friendship imaginable. Like, I will do anything for these people. But
yeah, Loki, having her on your side would be awesome.
Where you'll lose me is consistency. And so whoever falls off based on that, I understand. I'd be annoyed too.
But it's not a deep-rooted friendship. She's never going to be, like, I understand she's saying, like, she'll be there for you, but it's like, if you're a sociopath, you don't have a sense of empathy, you don't have a sense of care, and you're unable to do that. When your friend goes, hey, I need help moving in, all my other friends are busy, my mom just died, and I have to move out because I can't afford rent at this place, no part of you is going to be like, okay, I need to be there for this person. You would just, maybe from a calculated sense, you're like, this is valuable to me to help this person in this scenario. But that's more of like a personal gain sense than like, I actually just want to help this person because I feel bad for them, you know?
What do you look for in a friend?
I like someone who is going to be loyal, who will not generally start fights or create a hierarchy within the friendship circle. I don't like hierarchies in those social settings. I need someone who is willing to be there for me at 2 a.m. like I'm there for them at 2 a.m.
See, but that doesn't seem like sociopathy. Like, if she's there for somebody in their times of need, she is showing a true caring for somebody outside of her own individual interests.
What percentage of the population has ASPD? I believe it's approximately 1 to 4% of the population has ASPD. And
what is ASPD? Antisocial personality disorder, chronic mental health condition characterized by long-term pattern of manipulating, exploiting, or violating the rights of others without remorse. So statistically, let's say it's 2%. 222 people in this chat show forms of sociopathic tendencies.
And I would say it's probably more than that because women are very underrepresented, and that's probably because our acts are not usually violent because we are small. We don't have the same advantages of men in that domain.
Is there an even gender split?
No, absolutely not. Men are far more likely to be sociopathic. Men are far more likely to be psychopathic. Men are far more likely to be violent, to be aggressive, and to have the physical size in order to assert that dominance, whereas women just don't have that. Best way of dealing with a sociopath. Okay, so this depends on whether you are dealing with a bad sociopath who you want to get rid of versus someone you want to keep. So if you want to get rid of a sociopath, what you have to do is become exceptionally boring. We cannot tolerate.
What? So you have somebody that like likes you and you don't like them back, and they're like a sociopath and they won't leave you alone, so you just become boring and then they'll leave.
We honestly cannot tolerate boredom. So the minute you start being less interesting to us, we'll lose. Like, we'll drop you. You could become very needy, very clingy, very dull, ugly, gain some weight. That sort of stuff will make us lose interest in you.
All right, well, I'm not going to get fat for the sole purpose of somebody losing interest in me. Like, what the fuck? If somebody, I feel like there's got to be better ways. Yeah, maybe acting boring. It's like, all right, yeah, maybe lose yourself a little bit. You just pick up drinking, gain 30 pounds.
We are so bored as a baseline. If you bore us even more, we're gonna cut you real quick. Like, you'll be out of here in no time.
When you say bored as a baseline, what do you mean by that?
So I get bored basically just existing. So I don't necessarily feel boredom in the way a child would, but I feel this like sense of restlessness or agitation when I'm not actively a part of something that's going to bring me success or bring me fun. So that's when I start.
Doesn't that feel more like an ADHD, like, kind of energetic? That doesn't really feel like a sociopathy thing. That feels more just like a restlessness of constantly needing to be stimulated.
Spending wild amounts of money, going on trips I never planned earlier, just forgetting medications and deciding to stop taking them because it's inconvenient going to a pharmacy. That boredom really gets in your bones, and then you just have to do something about it. So it's already so bad. When you exacerbate it, of course we're going to get rid of you. Did you want to kill cats as a child?
Why cats? What is the, is that like a thing? Like, people have an interest in killing cats if they're like psycho or sociopaths?
No, I don't think I've ever wanted to kill cats. I adore cats. I have 4 Persian cats. So no, I've never wanted to kill cats. And I'm going to be specific there, not cats. There are things I've done in my childhood, but never to cats.
You can't just go to the next question. What, you can't just go to the next question and leave that on a fucking open-ended statement there. Yeah, there's things that I did. Like what? What would we kill? Were we strangling dogs? What were we doing? Were we blowing up frogs? I don't understand.
Do you want to elaborate or no?
You just move into the next question. Thank fuck the interviewer. Aaron, thank you. Thank you for butting in. No.
I was a very violent child.
Oh gosh. See, that's not elaborating in the way that, see, that's making me more curious.
I didn't carry that out past approximately 12. And let's just say in India, when I visited, we visit every December. It's a lot easier to get around the law. It's a lot easier to get around even violence towards other people, towards animals. But it's never been cats. It never will be cats. I love cats so much.
But, like, what, I like, that's just, like, okay, there's a difference there, though. Like, if you're killing, like, minnows or, like, fish, I feel like that's, like, not fucked compared to, like, okay, you drowned a dog or something like that.
What emotions do you have?
Like, the level of consciousness of the creature. You know what I mean? Like, if somebody was, like, when I was a kid, I used to kill frogs, I'd be like, nah, that's bad, but I wouldn't be, like, shocked. But if you were like, when I was 5, I strangled a dog to death, I'd go, whoa. Have you gone to therapy? Or, like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, there's, like, a level of, like, lasting impact depending on the animal.
And I'm a sociopath. I'm not AI. I'm not a robot. I have all the emotions. I just don't.
Wait, what was the question? Oh, what emotions do you have?
And I'm a sociopath. I'm not AI. I'm not a robot. I have all the emotions. I just don't experience empathy, guilt, or remorse. I think the strongest emotions I feel are rage, contempt. Contempt is probably the strongest feeling I have. Disgust. Like, people could do the mildest thing and it will trigger disgust. Like, most of my actions are very controlled. They're very precise and planned out. But sometimes I do have a rage attack, and I worry that one day it might go too far.
What does a rage attack look like?
So I've been told that it looks like the soul has left my body. My eyes look a lot darker. I have previously attempted to hurt someone with a knife. I've pushed people down flights of stairs. And the rage attack is kind of like just irrational. Like, you can't talk me out of it. Like, I need the time to calm down, because if anyone is getting in the way of that, they're gonna be a casualty, unfortunately.
Do you feel
Bro just used the term casualty.
joy and happiness?
Yes, I do. I do feel joy. I feel happiness. I feel happy for others if they are part of that call, because I see that as myself succeeding. I also do experience jealousy, like an entitlement to an extent. So it's kind of like this baseline of
I don't think that's just a sign from sociopaths, though. I think it's very common in friend groups for people to feel jealous of other friends' success, when you got to realize, like, you got to prop up your boys, you know what I mean? Like, witnessing your friends succeed, you should always be happy, regardless of whether you could still. I don't think it's bad to witness your friend succeed and go, damn, I wish I had that. But that shouldn't take away from the level of happiness that you have for a friend. Does that make sense? Where it's like, say your friend wins the lottery. You could go, I wish I won the lottery. But you shouldn't be mad or, you know, upset that your friend won and not you. You could be like, damn, I wish I won. But you shouldn't be like, oh, okay, fuck you. Like, pissed off at them for their success.
And then...
Okay, not success. You know, winning the lottery isn't success. More so like luck, I guess.
Anyone can do something like that I find offensive and it will trigger contempt, and then that'll mean they're out of my life.
The impossible to debunk UFO events.
Let's start with the ones that are incredibly difficult to debunk and work our way towards the ones that are impossible. Number 5, the Tic Tac UFO. In April of 2020, the US government released these videos showing a pill-shaped UAP speeding above the ocean near San Diego, California. Not only was this criminal breaking the law by speeding, they were also flying completely recklessly. It went
Okay, well, before we even fucking get into this, we have to recognize that UFO doesn't mean alien. It just means unidentified flying object. Could be actually anything.
from
I've seen this video. I feel like this is the most known video, too, where it's just a black and white image of something just darting across the sky. I'm not saying it misread anything. It is obviously a real video, but it's not definitively an alien. And this is coming from somebody that believes in aliens. I believe aliens exist. I don't know if this is a video of an alien, though.
speeds to a complete stop, hovered in place, then instantly accelerated faster than any known jet in existence, dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level within a second. As you can tell, the quality is absolutely terrible.
80,000 feet to zero in a second. You guys think that's an alien? I don't know. Part of me is like, could this machinery have fucked up in some way? But multiple people are saying that they read this on different machines. But like, what the fuck is it? Like, I don't know. Part of me thinks that if it is a UFO, it's not actually an alien in a flying saucer moving around. It's like, I think if when we interact with aliens, like hyper like intelligent aliens, I think it'll just be like a robot. You know what I mean? Like a drone. Because that makes a hell of a lot more sense than the alien itself being in the ship.
Terrible. But don't worry.
How do you believe in aliens but not ghosts? In the least disrespectful way, I feel like that's a stupid question. How do I believe in aliens but not ghosts? Ghosts are supernatural, speculative, spiritual beings, whereas aliens would be biological, evolutionary organisms that are akin to us in just a different planet on a different timeline. Like, what ghosts take more of a jump than aliens? It's technically more likely, by what we know, that aliens exist than ghosts, by far. Explain the paranormal, then? Human failure to recognize... What do you mean, explain the paranormal? It's not real. I'm not definitively saying ghosts don't exist or the paranormal isn't real, but that's the response. Explain paranormal. The paranormal isn't paranormal. It's something else every time that somebody believes is this. And then the counter response is, really, every single ghost yes. We just watched a video on fear and how your brain makes up shit biologically in the dark, which is every time where paranormal shit happens. Why do ghosts why do ghosts 99% of the time only come out at night when it's dark out in places that already look scary? I'm not saying ghosts don't exist. I'm saying aliens definitely do. Now, I'm not saying hyper intelligent aliens, but the shit that creates life in the universe is common as fuck. Amino acids, like all these things that create DNA chains. Yes, that takes millions, billions of years to create, and there has to be the exact right, Goldilocks zone on a planet and things for all these, materials to collide and create life. But single-celled organisms are not rare. Multicellular organisms are. Hyper-intelligent organisms are even more rare. I'm not saying aliens. I'm saying aliens in the effect of like bacteria definitely exist on other planets. Ghosts, on the other hand, I don't know. And part of the reason I don't believe in that is because when I think I die, it's just lights out. So I would have to believe in something either spiritual or religious to believe in ghosts. And I don't.
My $600 computer and my state-of-the-art
What did that say? What are your thoughts on religious people, Joe? Talked about that a million times. I respect any religion. I'm as right as you on our thoughts of whether or not God, the universe, anything was created in what way or not. Because faith is the strong belief in God or the doctrines of a religion based on spiritual apprehension rather than proof. Which is basically saying that it's objectively subjective, which that one guy really got mad at me that I said, because that's combating things, but you have to look at what I mean by that. Religion is an objective truth to an individual, but subjective to a majority. What you believe religiously is 100% true for you as what I believe for me, right? They're both subjective, and that's subjectivity in general. It's an opinion, but it's a very, 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 very strong opinion. And so that's why I say objective subjectivity. But I still respect any religion. I just don't believe in said religion. I have said some choice words about Scientology, but I also think that's a cult that fiends money out of people for manipulative reasons. So that's my own take on that. I actually did have a Scientology viewer that emailed me a very angry email when I said that too. So I still respect your beliefs, but I really do prompt you to look into the origin of your belief set, and why they kind of shield a lot of things with money walls. YH for the sub.
Our technology. I will be converting this terrible video into 4K resolution for the first time in history. Don't thank me. It's the least I could do. Now, the reason why this UAP sighting can't be debunked is simply because there isn't any known craft that can perform these maneuvers. But it gets even crazier.
Okay, it can't be debunked in that it's something else. It isn't a UFO. It's not a plane, right?
The craft didn't release any heat while flying, which would be expected from any conventional propulsion system. Then, of course, the obvious, its shape. The craft didn't have wings, rotors, exhaust, and clearly no aesthetics. Yuck. The US government has confirmed that it has no explanation for what the craft is, how it moves, or where it comes from. So you're probably thinking, how can this sighting sit at the top of the list when there's actual video proof? Well, after years of being lied to, it's hard to believe anything the government tells us. It's not my fault that I ended up this way. It's theirs. Number 4, the Washington Flap. In July of 1952, Washington National Airport and Andrews Air Force Base detected fast-moving objects in the sky performing impossible maneuvers. The operators moved in to investigate. What they saw left them in shambles. The flying objects were seen hovering in place and instantly darting off in random directions. They made quick turns, sudden stops, vanished and reappeared unpredictably. But get this,
I saw that shit in the sky when I was drunk one time. I laid on the asphalt and stared at the sky, and there was this really fucking bright light that would just dart around. And did I see an alien? I don't know. I remember actively though, I was with my friend, and I said, if you're an alien, come closer. And the light got 5 times brighter. And that I don't know if it was a psychosis of we both saw the same thing, but both of us actively recoiled because it was instantaneous. I was like, if this is an alien, get brighter, and or come closer, and it got so bright and then just disappeared. It was so weird. And I can't explain it. That, and then the only ghost story I can't explain is the one at the Airbnb, where I heard something jumping on the bed, and there was pitter patter and wine in the sink, and I didn't have wine at the air. It was really weird. That was that. If anything, that was a ghost. But just because I can't explain it doesn't mean it was a ghost. Is more what I'm saying. Similar to the UFO shit. And I don't care if somebody's like, this is my ghost story. You don't believe in ghosts. What about all these stories? Fuck your story. It's your account. It's like I can't hedge my entire opinion on whether or not supernatural beings exist off of a fucking story somebody told me when they were 8 about how they saw a fucking old man staring at them when they were asleep. You had sleep paralysis. That's like the thing. It's like I can't, and it doesn't matter how many stories there are. It's like I haven't experienced that. So I can't fucking say I believe that. Yeah, it's all hearsay. It's all secondhand accounts. I'm not going to do that.
UAPs weren't just flying in random locations in the sky. They were flying directly over restricted airspace, directly over the White House and the surrounding Capitol buildings. This was a clear message. So naturally, the US sent fighter jets to confront the mysterious crafts. But they were easily outmaneuvered, disappearing when they approached and reappearing when the jets flew past them. Obviously, the UAPs knew they could never win in a fair head-to-head matchup. But here's where things get interesting. A Coast Guard officer managed to photograph these mysterious crafts. To this day, this photograph has never been debunked and remains unresolved.
It is weird. It is weird.
Been debunked. And
is it a UFO? Yeah. Is it an alien? I don't know.
Remains unresolved. The scariest part of all this is that these objects didn't just show up for one night. They flew over Washington, D.C. for 4 nights and were seen by thousands of people. In the coming days, countless newspapers printed thousands of articles exposing the event to the rest of the country. And as you can imagine,
this is 1952. When was Area 51 and like the B-52 bomber and all those created? Because that's why a lot of people thought they saw UFOs around Area 51, is because all those planes look drastically different from the planes we know and knew about prior to. And so when you look at it, it looks like a UFO.
The general public didn't take the
Somebody redeemed headset that. Bother Jack and YH for the sub.
news well. It triggered a mass wave of fear, panic, and public anxiety. With public pressure growing, the CIA was forced to release a statement. The UFOs were an illusion produced by temperature inversion. As anxiety resumed, the government pivoted and simply reassured the public that the sightings were not hostile and did not represent a threat. Finally, an explanation they could understand. On the heels of that good news, people moved on, releasing countless books and films to profit from the event. Number 3, the Phoenix Lights. On March 13th,
That's just a B-52 bomber, bro. Like, word for word, that just looks... I know that's the lights. We're going to get into the lights. I haven't even heard the story yet. That just looks like a fucking bomber. That looks like a plane.
Lights. On March 13th, 1997, up to 20,000 people across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico saw something in the sky that night that forever changed their lives.
When?
1997, up to 20,000 people across Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico saw something in the sky that night that forever changed their lives. Around 7:30 p.m., a large V-shaped craft appeared flying overhead at low altitude. It had 5 to 7 bright round lights along its base and flew
It's B-52, not B-2. I said B-52.
Completely silent. Witnesses claimed the craft was enormous, spanning around a mile in length. Some even described that it felt like a
Oh, it's B-2.
floating city was flying overhead.
Sorry.
For perspective, the largest known craft today has a wingspan of around 385 feet, or 117 meters, which means this craft would have been around 14 times larger than the largest craft on Earth. Later, while speaking to the news, some even claimed that the craft flew so low that night that they could have hit it with...
They interview the worst people, though, bro. They interview the worst people whenever it's UFO shit. So what'd you see? Oh, well, actually, I saw a UFO when I came outside of the 7-Eleven, and it was just signing. It was over the... it was over the mountains right over there. It was like big, bright light. Fucking dude, like I looked at people that I've never seen before in my entire life. I'm like, you fucking just interview a rant. Like, who are we pulling off the side of the street to fucking get an interview here of what they saw?
The ball, which we can all agree is a weird time to show off. The craft flew from Nevada and into Mexico before it disappeared into the sky around 10 p.m. After the event, many Air Force pilots, including the governor of Arizona,
I live near an air base and I see a B2 at night. Looks like something an alien at night. Even when you know what it is. Bro, that's the shit with like Starlink. A lot of people do that. I think it's less now because most people know about it. But there was like a long time where people were like tweeting out like, damn, I just saw aliens. It was just Starlink satellites.
came out and said that they had never seen or heard of any aircraft like the one they saw on that night. Despite tremendous pressure, the U.S.
Why are most UFO sightings in the USA? No, there's more UFO sightings that people hear and talk about. You just hear about the ones in the USA.
government never issued an official statement about what flew through the sky that night. To this day, the event remains one of the greatest UAP mysteries in history. Number 2, the Belgian UFO wave. Typically, when UFO or UAP sightings occur, it's usually followed by intense cover-ups, threats, and misinformation. You just have to take a look at the Roswell incident, the Westall UFO encounter, the Hudson Valley UFO wave, and the US CSS Nostromo incident to see this pattern.
There was big like government cover-ups of those UFO sightings? Really?
But the Belgian UFO wave is one of the most interesting UFO encounters in history for a very unique reason. You see, the Belgian government was the first in history to be completely transparent, working hand in hand with citizens in an attempt to uncover the truth. From 1989 through 1990, there were over 13,500 reported UFO sightings across the country, with thousands of those leads.
I'm surprised in 1989. Do you think the US went over there? I truly believe that if there was like on the news a country that just said outwardly, like say a random, something not in NATO. What's like a country not in NATO where a UFO would land that would like outwardly broadcast that? Sweden? Yes. Is Sweden in? Sweden's not in NATO. Sweden's been a member of NATO for the last like year. Okay. Say a country not in NATO, because they would just tell everybody in NATO first. But say a country not in NATO, like, outwardly went on their news and they were like, here's a UFO, and put, like, images of it. You know that second from a fucking aircraft carrier or warehouse somewhere in the middle of nowhere, there is a jet plane flying right to that area to go check that shit out from the United States. Like, I'm telling you, the U.S. government would immediately be like, yeah, we're going to intrude on this. We're gonna stick our foot in this door real quick. No question. Like, not, if they would even ask, they would just be like, yeah, we're just going to go. I think so many countries would. I think Russia would. I think China would. I think so many countries. If there was like a confirmed UFO that some country was reporting on, immediately, bro, every fucking major power in the world would be like, I'm going there right now.
Being officially documented by the Belgian government. Information that was gathered was quickly shared with the general public in hopes of finding out who or what exactly was flying over the restricted airspace. Obviously, there are way too many UFO sightings to cover here, so I'll just talk about their largest and most famous sighting, the Eupen sighting. On November 29th, 1989, around 5:30 p.m., 2 Belgian police officers were on patrol on the outskirts of Eupen when out of nowhere, a giant triangle craft appeared in the sky flying overhead at low altitude. The craft had bright circular lights underneath each corner, with a red light in the center, and it flew completely silently. The 2 officers followed the craft as it slowly worked its way into town. Once it arrived, it hovered above Eupen for about 45 minutes before it once again began to move. It slowly flew towards a nearby remote lake, where it hovered in place for around an hour before disappearing past the forest and
nobody shot at that shit one time. If that shit was in Texas, bro, I'd say give it 5 minutes. Somebody pulls out a fucking rifle and tries to shoot that shit down. Like, somebody tries to shoot that shit down. It's not in America, bro, the cops. You tell me nobody has a gun, they're like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking shoot it. I would shoot at that. I'd throw a rock at it, see what the fuck's up. I throw a rock at it, it instantly pulverizes me to like fucking burnt ash. It's just like, I'm like mid-wind back. The rock's not even out of my hand yet. Just instantly, I just get zapped into, I don't even exist. I just vaporized, missed.
To the horizon. But here's where things get even creepier. Back in town, a second similar craft appeared, seemingly following the same path as the first, before vanishing past the forest as well. Sightings like this one were not rare and occurred hundreds,
Bro, I wish I saw that shit.
if not thousands of times within the span of a year. But towards the end of 1990, the sightings began to slow significantly. The conclusion the government reached after thousands of reports and hundreds of investigations was that whatever these crafts were, they were unlike anything known to exist. To this day, the government still wants answers about what exactly they all saw. Number 1, the aerial school encounter. This is easily one of the most interesting, scary, and most bizarre encounters I've ever read about. On September 16th, 1994, in Rua, Zimbabwe, around 250 children were outside playing.
Why are there like all of these in the 90s? Why is every single one of these in the 90s? That does make sense that they would be around the same time, like an alien passing by, but still.
During morning recess, while the adults were...
Why does nobody take any photos of these? That's what Neil deGrasse Tyson and a bunch of other people say that like are prominent astrophysicists. They'll go, it's the 21st century. Why is nobody taking out their fucking phone that can film in 4K and record it?
Inside having a faculty meeting. Little did anyone know that on that day, these children's lives would never be the same. Multiple silver crafts instantly appeared in the sky right above them. For a few moments, the crafts faded and reappeared in different locations before descending into a nearby field beyond the playground. As many of the children ran into the school in complete fear, others decided to walk towards the landing site as it was just beyond the school grounds. As they arrived, many of the children were instantly traumatized by what they saw. Laying in the field was an oval flying saucer that was about the size of a small bus. But that wasn't all. Standing next to and on top of the craft were two gray aliens around 3 feet tall, with large black eyes and small mouths. Both were wearing skin-tight black suits. The one on top of the ship was walking around as if it were inspecting the craft, while the other was standing beside it, staring directly at the children. This is when the alien on the floor began to slowly approach them, before disappearing and returning back.
Bro, I can't believe. Is it possible? Yes. But the idea that an alien from another solar system or galaxy would even within our own galaxy outside of it, would be a bipedal creature with 2 arms, 2 eyes, and functionally look the same. Yeah, it's 3 feet tall with big black eyes. It's walking on 2 feet. Get the fuck out of here. It evolved in the same exact way we did. Like, you know how random our evolution was? Like, it's not, no.
To its starting position.
Yeah, breathing oxygen, you know, carbon-based life, that's not insane.
It did this multiple times. Some children described it as if time itself was repeating, bending, or standing still. This is when many of the children received the exact same message telepathically. The aliens seemed frustrated, warning them that humans were the ones to blame for destroying the planet. Some of the children received the message with visions of the planet being destroyed, while others just felt an overwhelming sadness and a sense of urgency over the well-being of the planet. A few moments later, the aliens and the aircraft instantly vanished. Meanwhile, the children who had stormed into the school were still attempting to convince the adults of what had happened. Of course, they all believed the kids were playing a prank.
Oh, only children saw this. No adults saw, only children on a playground saw this. There weren't any other adults outside.
But once the rest of the kids arrived, it was obvious that whatever they saw left them traumatized, shaken, and in shock. Seeing this, the principal instructed all of the kids to draw what they saw. These are those drawings.
Bro, my God. We need a fucking Leonardo da Vinci in this class, bro. Come on. What the hell is that? That's just a flying saucer.
These are those drawings.
Amy Horn, I saw an oval shape. It was silver. The reason I don't believe this is because the idea of a UFO and the flying saucer is actually like misinformation of a misreading of an account from a pilot from like 40 years ago. So flying saucers aren't actual depictions of UFOs. It's literally a misinformation that was spread over time. Like I gotta look this up. How was the UFO created? Kenneth Arnold described seeing strange, fast-moving objects later in the event's 1947 Roswell incident. He said they moved like saucers if you skip them across the water. He didn't say they were flying saucers. He said they skipped like a saucer would. I gotta Google this. Did Kenneth Arnold say flying saucers? He didn't say they were shaped like saucers. He said they moved like a saucer, and the description was misinterpreted to coin the term flying saucer. He later said the objects may have been saucer or pie-shaped, but his description was actually about their motion. So now they're all seeing gray flying saucers, bro. Like, I don't know. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. That shit's fake. I don't care if all the kids drew the same thing, bro. That's what they saw. That's what they saw. That is like a corny ass depiction of an alien. Bro, I would be more agreeable that those aren't alien. Like, if this were real, I would be more agreeable that these are like hyper-evolved late-stage humans than aliens. Like, these are humans from 80,000 years, 100,000, a million years from now, where they've evolved so differently and they came back in time, and that's who we're speaking to. More so than these are aliens themselves. Okay, this kid needs to get an F in art class, because that is just a person.
Obviously, this is the only drawing that can't be trusted. As you can tell, the majority of the drawings are strikingly similar, while those who approached the landing site drew the same two aliens and ship. Keep in mind that many of the children were in different classes, as their ages ranged from 6 to 12 years old. After the incident, many of the students took weeks off from school to recover from what they had witnessed that day. Some never returned. To this day, over 30 years later, all of those children, now adults, still stand by their statements and what they—
Really? See, now that's more telling. That now that they're 35, they're still like, nah, I saw that shit.
witnessed that day. Not a single one of them has ever came out and said that this was a hoax or an elaborate prank of any kind.
Really? No, that's weird. None of them. Not one of them was like, this shit's fake. There was a gas leak? I don't know, bro. That's just so... Like, whenever they're like, yeah, I saw aliens, it was this flying saucer, and they were a gray alien and looked like E.T. I just can't believe that. And people always see them and they're like, oh, that's what tripping's like. I'm like, dude, when you're tripping and you're actually seeing like not holograms, what are they called? It's in your eyes. The fractals. When you're seeing the fractals, like a kaleidoscope, when you're seeing those kaleidoscope visuals and you're like, dude, the amount of people that I'll see in like comment sections when it's like LSD trip visualization, it'll be some 15-year-old like, oh, this would be awesome. I can't wait to take acid. I'm like, yo, it's different from seeing it on a screen versus it being in your fucking brain, dude. That and you're hallucinating, you're hearing shit. Everything's heightened. You're basically taking poison, right? Because you're fucking tripping balls, dude. If it's like, it depends if it's like psilocybin, because that's like bug poison. But I think this visual is supposed to be the guy that invented acid. That's a crazy story. Guy that invented acid took it on the way home from the lab. He rode his bike back and he was tripping balls. Imagine inventing acid and then being the first guy to take it. How was acid invented? Mixing a bunch of chemicals. And then not knowing the
November
fucking doses.
1852. This is British botanist Richard Spruce. For the past 3 years, he's been making his way through the Amazon rainforest to study plants. He's
Ayahuasca. I'm calling it.
particularly interested in mosses.
Fuck!
Along the way, he keeps encountering indigenous communities living deep in the jungle. He learns their languages and studies their customs. Right now, Spruce is staying with an indigenous group in what is now northwestern Brazil. Today is a special occasion. The tribe is about to hold a spiritual ceremony, and at the center of it all is this ritual brew. Its key ingredient is a specific type of liana. Indigenous people have been drinking or chewing it for thousands of years. Some groups call it napa, others baco, or pinde.
Okay, I'm dead wrong. Fuck! I took psychopharmacology in college. Don't they take ayahuasca in like South America?
This group calls it kapi. And tonight, Spruce is going to try it himself.
Dude, you're in the fucking middle of a jungle. Fires around you. You're some fucking like British explorer, dude. You're with all these tribal guys that have been taking this shit for fucking centuries. And they're like, drink this. Psychopharmacology was basically a class learning about drugs. And I learned about like weed, mushrooms, coke, fentanyl, you know, just any method, any amphetamine. You learn what what type of
He watches several young members of the community drink the mixture before him.
drug classification each things are, how they are in the government, why they are the way they are, how they affect you.
He notes that, for about 10 minutes, they appear to be possessed with reckless fury. Then they calm down and simply continue dancing. Then it's his turn. But the tribe didn't just prepare kapi for him.
I had scarcely dispatched one cup of the nauseous beverage when the ruler of the feast came up with a woman bearing a large calabash of mandioca beer called kashiri.
After that, protocol demands that he top things off with a cigar and a cup of palm wine.
What? They just hand this motherfucker just a pot of liquid and go, you gotta drink this, smoke a cigar, and then have some wine. What? I'd be like, am I at an ASU frat party right now?
South America, and repeatedly comes across kapi. One of these encounters takes place in 1857 among an indigenous
Oh, what's fucking happening, bro? we're doing the fucking dynamic trio here.
group in Peru. They also use the vine to prepare a powerful brew. They mix it with other plants and call it ayahuasca. Spruce has to fight off the urge to vomit and stretches out in a hammock. The kapi is slowly kicking in.
God, dude, the urge to vomit. I haven't taken any other hallucinogens outside of mushrooms, but the urge to fucking vomit after eating mushrooms is so bad. When you start hallucinating, you start feeling gross.
Later notes in his journal that white men taking kapi all seem to report the same experience.
They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and
I called that shit. I would do that. I would only do ayahuasca, though, if I could do it in... What? Yo, that is actually so accurate. Holy fuck. I don't know about this drug, but that is so accurate for what hallucinations look like. In the jungle with, like, a shaman. That like, granted...
Experience.
They feel alternations of cold and heat, fear and
Oh my god. Yeah, staring at me, the permission, and also like serenaded me. Because I've seen a lot of documentaries where the sky and just seeing that.
boldness.
Like
The
the trees are moving.
sight is disturbed and visions pass rapidly before the eyes, wherein everything gorgeous and magnificently
Where you do like an ayahuasca retreat and you take it and then it's like a whole traditional experience.
have heard or read of seems combined, and presently the scene changes to things uncouth and horrible.
Hey, this is Jonas, one of the founders.
I think I would freak out, but I think it would be a good experience.
Spruce apparently doesn't drink it himself this time. Instead, he asks the locals to describe their experiences to him. To Spruce, the brew remains an unsolved mystery.
Founders of Fern. It's not just psychedelics that can shape our minds, our thoughts.
Is this an ad?
He simply can't figure out which particular substances cause these extreme effects. He's already familiar
10% off your first month.
with opium and cannabis, but kapi seems to be much more potent. Spruce calls the plant Banisteria kapi. Banisteria was the term used at the time for a class of tropical climbing. What he doesn't realize is that he's been looking in the wrong place. Plants. Kapi is an indigenous word for grass. He samples a couple of those vines, dries them. The plant he sent back to Europe isn't the key ingredient. Technically, it's not the liana or Banisteria kapi that produces the intoxicant and has them shipped to England. Over the following years, Spruce keeps traveling.
Yo, side note, I gotta say, herbal psychopharmacology was the second best class I have ever taken.
Getting effect. The real trigger is a special compound found in the leaves mixed into the brew.
In all of the 4 years of college I had. It is such an interesting class. Like, normally I hate like the nitty gritty science of like what makes up something, but learning about like how certain drugs affect the mind and the body is fascinating. Because now you're not only just learning about like hallucinogens, you're learning about like what is that? Herbopsychopharmacology was basically a class learning about drugs. And I learned about like weed, mushrooms, coke, fentanyl, you know, just any amphetamine. You learn what what type of drug classification each things are, how they are in the government, why they are the way they are, how they affect you.
DMT, more precisely, N-DMT, linked South America, and repeatedly comes across Capi. One of these encounters takes place in 1857 among an indigenous group in Peru. They also use the vine to prepare a powerful brew. They mix it with other plants and call it ayahuasca. Its molecular structure is surprisingly simple compared to other psychedelics. Its complete name is N.
I called that shit. I would do that. I would only do ayahuasca though if I could do it in the jungle with like a shaman. That like granted
Was the first to synthesize the substance in the early 1930s. Back then, he had no idea of its extraordinary psychoactive effect.
documentaries where they
At its core, DMT is characterized by a nitrogen atom bonded to two methyl groups, hence the name dimethyl. A methyl group consists
where you do like an ayahuasca retreat and you take it and then it's like a whole traditional experience.
of one carbon atom bonded to three hydrogen atoms. It's one of the simplest building blocks in organic chemistry. The nitrogen
I think I would freak out, but I think it would be a good experience.
atom is connected via a short carbon chain to the most important part of the molecular structure, the so-called indole ring. The same structural feature can also be found in other known psychedelics like LSD or psilocybin to describe their experiences to him. And within the molecular structure of serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter. To Spruce, the brew remains an unsolved mystery. It plays a key role in some of our most essential bodily functions. He simply can't figure out which particular substances cause these extreme effects. He's already familiar with functions, from mood, sleep, digestion, and nausea, to wound healing and sexual desire. Because of their structural similarity with opium and cannabis, but Capi seems to be much more potent. What he doesn't realize is that he's been looking in the wrong place. Similarity, psychedelics like DMT can bind to the same receptors usually used by serotonin. The plant he sent back to Europe isn't the key ingredient. Technically, it's not the liana or Banisterium capi that produces the intoxication.
They're like key locks, and drugs are like specific keys that act on specific key locks.
Effect. The real trigger is a special compound found in the leaves mixed into the brew.
And so these classic psychedelic drugs, with which DMT is one of them, act on specific
DMT, more precisely, N-DMT. Its molecular structure is surprisingly simple compared to other psychedelics. Its complete name is N-dimethyltryptamine, but we'll simply refer to it as DMT throughout this video. German-Canadian chemist Richard Mansk was the first to synthesize the substance in the early 1930s. Back then, he had no idea of its extraordinary psychoactive effects. At its core, DMT is characterized by a nitrogen atom bonded to two methyl groups, hence the name dimethyl. A methyl group consists of one carbon atom bonded to three hydrogen atoms. It's one of the simplest building blocks in organic chemistry. The nitrogen atom is connected via a short carbon chain to the most important part of the molecular structure, the
specific key locks in the brain, and
so-called indole ring. The same structural feature can also be found in other known psychedelics like LSD or psilocybin.
Such a great way of explaining it. Oh my god. That certain drugs are keys to certain locks in your brain.
Specifically,
and within the molecular structure of serotonin. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, a molecule that carries chemical messages or signals between nerve cells. It plays a key role in some of our most essential bodily functions, from mood, sleep, digestion, and nausea, to wound healing and sexual desire. Because of their structural similarity, psychedelics like DMT can bind to the same receptors usually used by serotonin.
They're like key locks, and drugs are like specific keys that act on specific key locks. And so these classic psychedelic drugs, with which DMT is one of them, act on specific key locks in the brain, And
That is such a great way of explaining it. Oh my God. That certain drugs are keys to certain locks in your brain.
specifically
And then they affect you in different ways.
these serotonin receptors in the brain.
This is Chris Timmerman. He's a neuro
What's the worst drug? Depends what you're talking about. Fentanyl. Right now. Not to say that there couldn't be a worse drug in the future. Fentanyl kills the most people for the amount of users that have used it. Like, more people have died from other drugs historically, but fentanyl is definitely the worst. In terms of strong, it also depends on what type of drug you're talking about. Worse in terms of addiction, worse in terms of death rate, you know, largely it's still fentanyl.
scientist and one of the world's leading researchers on DMT. He spends much of his time traveling for research, so we're lucky enough to catch him on a video call. It's likely that DMT was also the main active compound in the brew that Spruce encountered back in the jungle. Today, that mixture is widely known as ayahuasca. To produce it, you mainly need two ingredients. The first one consists of plants that contain DMT. They grow across large parts of the Amazon basin, though not exclusively there. The second ingredient is the capi liana, documented by Spruce. It doesn't
Wait, so these two substances are not inherently hallucinogenic themselves, but when you mix them, they release the compound?
contain DMT itself, but it is crucial for making the DMT in the brew psychoactive.
I wonder how they figured that out historically. Like, do you think that shit's by accident? Hallucinogenic mushrooms for sure. Like, imagine being the first Homo sapien to be like, ooh, a mushroom. Eat that shit, and you start tripping balls, bro. I mean, that's like a theory on how a lot of religions are made, is because most people historically have taken hallucinogens without knowing it and then seen shit that they think is supernatural. But yeah, trial and error, maybe if they're trying to figure out something. I think like that's how they determine what's bad and good in terms of, you know, what's going to kill you plant-wise. Like, people eating mushrooms, some mushrooms kill you, they avoid those. Some mushrooms are just good to eat, and then some are for, like, rituals and then just, you know, getting high. But in terms of, like, ayahuasca, I feel like it had to be, like, accidentally these things were mixed together. Somebody was hungry and ate it, and then they tripped balls and went, that makes me, you know, bug out.
Mixing and boiling the two together produces the psychedelic plant drink known as ayahuasca. Psychedelics are generally considered physiologically safe and non-addictive. That's one of the key differences between them and drugs like cocaine or amphetamines. Those primarily act as stimulants. They artificially increase dopamine.
Yeah, I don't promote the use of psilocybin or mushrooms, but I do try. One of the things that we talked about in herbal psychopharmacology was that mushrooms have the highest safety rating out of any drug in terms of addiction potential and death rates out of certain drugs. That and then marijuana, I think, was like a close second.
And neuroepinephrine levels in the brain and strongly activate our reward system. Psychedelics, on the other hand, alter perception itself. Users may see or hear things that aren't there.
Have you ever used kratom? Yes. How would you describe the high from kratom? I got high on kratom probably like 20 times. It really depended the amount I took. Kratom in low doses was like a mixture of a nicotine and weed high. I always say it felt like I hit a cart twice and then shoved two Zins in my mouth. But in higher doses, it was more an in-between between like very low-level mushrooms and like weed.
Hallucinate and lose their sense of time and space. Some report life-changing experiences. And many
A guy ate his friend's heart because of mushrooms. I think that guy should not, I think the mushrooms were a part of, when you hear stories about people taking mushrooms and eating somebody's heart, I don't know what story that is or if that's true, but if that actually happened, number one, that's terrible. Number two, I don't think mushrooms alone caused him to do that. I think that guy was not in a clear, good mental space. Similarly to the story about the woman that smoked weed for the first time with her boyfriend and then stabbed him 80 times and she blamed the marijuana. It wasn't the weed, right? You were not sane. Right? Like, you needed help in other mental regards. That weed did not force you to kill your boyfriend, right? Like, that was you, right? I think it depends on the drug, right? Psilocybin can make you trip out, perceive things that you get paranoid, and then you could have certain reactions like that. Eating your friend's heart, however, I think that's a little extreme. Separately, though, like, there are drugs like bath salts where, like, people will actually just go insane and kill someone. Like, in that sense, I think it depends on the drug, right? When you hear a story about somebody hitting a bong for the first time and killing their boyfriend, weed didn't make you do that. But you hear somebody getting drugged with bath salts and then stripping naked and fucking smashing cars in the streets and attacking people. I think that was the bath salts, right? Like, I think it depends on the situation.
ways, psychedelic substances seem to fundamentally alter how we think and feel. which is precisely why DMT continues to fascinate scientists to this day.
In terms of the psychological impact of the experiences, in terms of the subjective effects it generates, it is one of the most weird and unexpected things a person can go through.
Oh my god, is this gonna be the story about how acid was made? I love hearing this. Because what a crazy thing, dude. Just being a scientist, you make acid, you fucking take it, and then drive home.
April
Or not
19th,
drive home, fucking ride your bike
1943, a bike path near Basel in Switzerland. This is Swiss chemist Albert Hofmann. He works as a researcher.
And then the CIA got their hands on LSD and said, let's see if we can make this a truth serum. Why don't we start drugging people in the US with this shit and asking them deep questions?
Researcher for a Swiss pharmaceutical company. Riding next to him is his lab assistant. He explicitly asked her to come along. He's desperately trying to get home. Earlier that day, he started conducting an experiment on himself. He dissolved 250 grams of lysergic acid, diethylamide, in water and ingested it. He had synthesized the compound in the lab after isolating it from the ergot fungus. And right now, he's feeling a bit under the weather.
Everything in my field of vision.
Why don't you just stay in the lab? Bro, oh my god, I thought it was a peaceful experience. The way that I've always heard this story was he made acid, took it, and then just had a happy bike ride home. This is making it feel like a doom trip. This guy's asking his assistant, you need to get me, I need to go home. I need to get back.
Everything in my field of vision wavered and was distorted as if seen in a curved mirror.
Oh god.
I also had the sensation of being unable to move from the spot.
Bad would want to be like, I'll buy your house. I'll buy your house for $1. I'll buy your house for $1 if you want to.
Their money. He's like, could you give me your address? Tell me the time for that. I would love to know the exact time and place for that. Hold on. Jesus is giving me another message. You should open up your garage door and let this man live in the basement free of charge. Okay, Jesus. All right, you're coming home with us. Who knows? Jesus works in mysterious ways.
I was gonna say, this sounds... Okay, here's the thing. I think Jesus was pulling a prank. I think he...
Haha, Joshua. Knock, knock. It's me, Jesus. I was kidding the whole time. Practical joke on Joshua. But here's the thing, I didn't joke about Joshua. There he's come all over my feet and my legs.
What the fuck is he saying right now?
Said that would happen 2 weeks ago. Oh, Jesus, you're gone done pulled the prank on me. Not even Africa. It's like Jamaica. All right. Another person received a $300 tip from a woman who was overly generous for the same reason. Their coworker also received a $777 from the same woman, but after the rapture failed to happen, she came back demanding the money be returned to her. That's
demanding it be returned to her? You giving her money back, chat? This woman tips you $1,000 because she thinks she's getting raptured. I'd feel like a dick if I don't give the money back, but I'd also be like, I would outwardly give her the money back, and I'd be like, okay, I'll give you $1,000 if you write "I'm stupid" on your forehead. Like, I would have to be like, bro, come on. Like, you need to... I would be like, I need something out of this for shock value, just because you're outwardly just saying, but you're handing your money away. Why are you doing that?
It's not very Christ-like, lady. Not every Christian believed in this, as many were trying to tell the others that this is literally stated in the Bible that only God knows when the rapture...
She was going to leave me behind, but only give me $300. That is fair. I'd be like, if she give me $300, I'd be like, why not the whole bank account? I mean, like, it's in there. Actually, do you have more than... Did you drive here in a car? Oh, could you sign the pink slips to me, or?
Is coming. Yeah, but Jesus told Joshua, it's me, Jesus, again. I'm being for real this time.
Oh, Jesus, I am not listening to you.
Jesus, I cannot listen anymore. The people...
She comes back the next day. Can I have my car back? Already blew it up with a rocket launcher. What? Yeah, it was for a YouTube video. It only got like 10 views, though. It was pretty... You want to see? Here it is, though. It's just their car getting fucking demolished.
Oh, mud.
Yeah, I actually gave it to Mr. Beast. He exploded it in a Squid Games segment, if that makes you feel any better.
I feel like I had like a really good like African thing going at the beginning and then it slipped away. Others pointed out that people have been predicting the rapture since the 1800s and would always try and convince people to worry about the next upcoming final day, right? This one's not, just worry about the next one. However, the 23rd and 24th came and went. Nobody was called up for the pearly gates and everyone went about their day as usual. Some who believe the hoax claimed that they got the date wrong.
No shot this many people were outside waiting.
It said it was actually next year or a few years down the road or maybe a couple more years after that. And some questioned their faith. And the pastor who made the initial prediction went live and apologized for everything. Oh God. Why did I do that? It was not even Jesus who called to me. It was my mom.
Can a brother make a mistake?
Well, let's go back in time and take a look at other historic examples like the predictions proposed by William Miller. It looks a little haunting. William, you know, if he said anything to me, I'd be like, okay, William, the world's gonna end tomorrow. Face.
What was the one from 2012? That was the Mayan calendar, right?
Thank you, William. William was a clergyman that had become obsessed with the Bible after returning from fighting in the Battle of Plattsburgh in
Aztec calendar?
1814. Just want to show maybe a picture of it.
No, show some footage.
Oh, there's 2000. Yeah, there's the year 2000, 2012.
Yeah, shows footage of...
Do you think if humans are still alive in the year 2999, there's going to be like a movement that the world's going to end on the year 3000? I wonder if humans will still be that stupid. Yeah, why 3K?
Of the Battle of Plattsburgh in 1814 when cameras were definitely around. Crazy stuff. He found himself particularly fascinated with the concept of Christ's return, aka he had PTSD and he might have been a schizophrenic. After seeing people die, you know what's kind of wild? Jesus coming back, right guys? Okay, William. He became responsible for creating the Protestant religion movement known as Millerism, aka the followers of the belief that the second coming of Christ would occur sometime between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. God, in that realm, right? His movement became popular.
But where do they get these dates from? Just like random scripture passages that they interpret in like a poetic way? Like, how are they getting this specific year?
Amassing an estimated 100,000 followers that were convinced that the world was nearing its end. They were strong in their beliefs despite being ridiculed and harassed by their peers. Which, dude, for those 3 decades, you must have been living so tall. Keep it counting, boys. Oh, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is like a common theme with all of these. They get it wrong. They're like, no, wait, it's the other date.
Yeah, it'll always be like a month later. What was that one religious guy? He was like decrepit, dude. He looked like a raisin. He was like 95. And he kept predicting a wrong date. And he was like, oh, I actually did my math wrong. I forgot this one passage about 73 fishes. I have to add that onto the top. And then you actually have to add like another 10 years just like to make sure. So it's like, honestly, it'll probably be like around here, not this date. It's going to be another like month or two after. Harold Camping. Yeah, he would randomly start adding numbers just out of like, he would be like, well, this passage has the number 83 in it.
Because you're delusional. Because they believe it, and then they're like, oh, it was probably a mix-up. You put your whole belief system in that. It's really quite sad, Nick. During one event, William was egged by an audience member during one of his speeches, and I bet that insane.
He was egged by like a 15-year-old.
Him over the edge. In the span of just a few years, people prepared for this event by selling most of their belongings and turning their...
Oh, wait, no, this is... Oh, my God, no. He was egged in the 1800s. This is just a video of a guy getting egged by a 15-year-old.
By an audience member during one of his speeches.
What the hell am I thinking?
And I bet that sent him over the edge. In the span of just a few years, people prepared for this event by selling most of their belongings and turning their backs on their responsibilities. By March 21st,
Why are they selling shit, though? Like, what is the point of selling shit? You have to have a shred of doubt if you're selling it. Like, just give it away.
1844, nothing had happened. The date would be moved to April 18th, only for it to fail once more. The last date proposed by William was October 22nd. On the day of, tons of people still believed in William. They put on their white ascension robes and climbed to the highest places available to them to await the second coming. Not only did this prove to be fruitless, but it led to a period known as the Great Disappointment, where people wept endlessly over their hopes being shattered alongside a...
I need somebody to help me up to my chamber as my natural strength was leaving me very fast, and I lay prostrate for 2 days without any pain, sick with disappointment.
Wave of mockery from people asking, why haven't you ascended yet? First off, as soon as if William came in, if William the dog came in trying to eat his own face and handing out white robes, I'd be like, you gotta get out of this motherfucker.
Why? Robes are fancy.
Robes are cool, but if it's in religious context, robes are not cool. Yeah, we're just gonna put on these robes and go to the mountain. I'd be like, might have picked the wrong batch, is what I'd say.
You're like full leaning into it, and they're like, all right, guys, let's get in our robes. Ew. Nobody told me about this part.
If you, what about jackets? Like sick, like club jackets.
If they were club jackets, or even just a nice suit, you want to get dolled up to go to heaven? Why not? Robes, really? William Miller's popularity dwindled significantly, but he held firm to the belief that the second coming was approaching until he died in 1849. Maybe that's what he was. Maybe he was predicting his own death. Might have been. I don't know. The more that we learn about space, the more terrifying the unknown becomes, right? Very Lovecraftian. Since we've started studying the stars, one of the biggest threats to our planet has been stray asteroids that could potentially hit Earth, which actually me up sometimes. Can't even think about it. There was one that they said, like, one asteroid's gonna pass by Earth.
Yeah, there's one that's passing by, and if it's like a very small chance. I think it's like 0.00 something. But if it passes by, that means the next orbit it has, it'll directly hit Earth. And everybody's like, that shit's so low of a chance. That ain't that. But most people take those odds gambling. Most people play the lottery and put money into something that has way less odds of happening. But when it's like, hey, there's like a 0.00001% chance that this asteroid threads a keyhole and then kills us in 30 years, nobody's worried. Do you think if we had a 30-year chance, though, like if we had a 30-year time frame, I feel like humans could destroy the asteroid. That would be the whole goal. If that asteroid threads the keyhole, society from then on for the next, 27 years or however long that shit is, it's 2.7%. That's really high. Wait, what? It's 2.7% chance? The asteroid Apophis is not expected to hit Earth, even though it will pass through a keyhole in 2029 that could have led to a collision in 2036. Thanks to further observations, scientists ruled both the 2029 and 2036 impact out, and Apophis will not pose a collision threat for the next 100 years. We're good, chat. We'll all be dead. Anyways, if an asteroid was going to hit Earth, say right now we knew, 30 years, an asteroid's hitting Earth. Do you think that we as humanity would be able to stop it? I think it depends how big the asteroid is. I'm pretty confident China, Russia, US all make buddies for a little bit, and we just start nuking the piss out of that fucking asteroid. We just start sending every fucking thing we have in the arsenal just right at that motherfucker. Yeah, just start blowing it up. Start redirecting it into... I don't think we would try and blow it up. I think we would try to change its orbit in some way where it passed.
Earth, and they're like, but when it passes by in 30 years, it's supposed to come back and hit us. I think they disproved it.
Here's my thing. If an asteroid's coming, don't tell me.
I would rather just not know. What benefit do you gain of being like, hey guys, seriously?
I'd want to know, because I'd stop doing everyday bullshit before. What the fuck? If you were like, an asteroid's gonna hit in 10 years, I'm not gonna start thinking about shit for when I'm 50. I'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna be dead in 10 years, so I'll just go fucking do other shit. Like, you would change your game plan if you knew.
Oh, in movies and shit. In movies, they do that to build conflict for the movie. But what would happen is, like, Elon and all those guys, they'd be like, I don't know, I'm just gonna try this spaceship out. And they'd leave and never come back. As soon as that starts happening, well, Mark Zuckerberg's building like he built like a giant bunker in Hawaii.
Yeah, like $100 million bunker. It's like 10 floors, 30 floors or some shit.
He said, well, it's not a doomsday bunker. It's just.
And that's funny too. They're like, so what's up with the doomsday bunker? He's like, hey, it's not really a doomsday bunker. It's just you could live there for 700 years if you wanted to.
It's a man cave.
It's like more of a man cave. And you're like, huh? Anyways, in 1910, many believed a nearby comet would end humanity. Halley's Comet, remember that one? Is visible from Earth every 72 to 80 years and has been spotted by humans dating back since
72 to 80 years. It was last visible in 1986. 2061. All right, that's a goal for me to live that long. I'll be 59.
40 BC.
That's the Fortnite meteor. You see Halley's Comet and Kevin the Cube's on it, you're like, everybody forgets about Fortnite. It's 2061. It's Kevin.
Which is crazy. I mean, go somewhere else. Hello. Scientists had predicted that 1910 would be the next time it passes Earth and observed the comet flying by using a spectrograph. This new technology allowed astronomers to view the chemical composition of the comet, and to their horror, they discovered its tail that was made of cyanogen gas, which is extremely toxic. Oh, shit. After publishing the report, a French reporter put out an article discussing their findings, but also included a line saying the gas from the comet could, quote, impregnate the atmosphere and possibly snuff out all life on the planet. Bit of creative liberty in the title there, buddy. People began to freak out over the headline, believing that their death was imminent. Before the comet could pass, companies began to sell comet pills, which claimed to fight off the effects of the toxic gas. Insurance companies offered...
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so fucking awesome, dude. Literally just a scam product that people fell for. These comet pills are novelty only. They have no therapeutic value.
Comet pills, which claim to fight off the effects of the toxic gas.
Dr. Haley's Comet Fever, a once-in-a-lifetime confection.
Insurance companies offered policies of people's belongings in case they were destroyed. Farmers around the globe refused...
Oh, well, they just knew. The insurance companies knew that shit wasn't going to do anything. They were just fucking scalping money off people.
...to plant crops, believing that there was no point since everyone would be dead. No more corn. I'm done with corn. Others locked themselves inside their homes, while others fled to the caves and sealed themselves deep underground, which I'm pretty sure is partially some of the inspiration for Fallout.
Oh.
There you go. After the comet passed and nothing happened, people were shocked to still be alive, and they moved on with the rest of their lives. I wonder what's happened with the guy who took comet pills. Well, Greg, we took those, you like look over to him, he's like having a seizure.
He's on Halley's Comet right now.
Yeah. Woo! In 1993, former sociology professor Hon Ming Chen had created a Taiwanese cult named God Salvation Church. It had also referred to itself as Chen Dao, or True Way, as well as God Saves the Earth Flying Saucer Foundation. I like that one the most. God Saves the Earth Flying Saucer Foundation. It was a belief system that was a mix of various religions and other Western cult-like beliefs, like the acceptance of alien intervention, right? You see a lot of that with Heaven's Gate. Kind of became a big thing in the 70s.
Yeah, the Heaven's Gate shit was so fucking stupid, though. There's an alien spaceship that's passing by. You have to kill yourself to reach it. Huh? Huh? If you die, you'll go to the gate. What? No.
Kind of evolved over time. He claimed that the second coming of Christ would occur in 1999, with God revealing himself from a spaceship disguised as clouds that would take his followers up to heaven.
That'd be sick.
He claimed that he could talk to the gods and receive their wisdom through golden balls that he could see traveling across the sky. Of course, salvation was not free. It was reported that Chen charged $60,000 to join Chen Tao and another $30,000
$60 grand
to board their spaceship. He's like, you keep it under 100. They won't be suspicious.
Mind games.
Exactly. It's all here. He convinced 140.
Bro, how do you convince people to pay money for that, though, if you're also leaving? I just don't... Like, I don't want to say... I understand it's like a cult and there's like a bit of brainwashing involved, but I'm like, dude, these people are like more than gullible. Like, you're flat out falling for somebody saying, hey, give me $100,000 and we're all going to go on a spaceship somewhere else. Why do you need the money?
Dedicated members to sell all their belongings and move to California in 1995 after changing his mind about where the historic event would take place. This changed after followers witnessed the numbers 007 written in the clouds, which was interpreted as a sign that they must relocate their headquarters elsewhere. AKA, there was probably a 007 convention happening around. They're like, oh, Colorado, we gotta go. Despite the fact that this was actually just a marketing stunt to advertise the 19... Oh!
Oh my god, a fucking religious cult saw 007 in the sky and changed where they needed to all move because of a James Bond ad.
Bear Trap. To advertise the 1997 James Bond movie Tomorrow Never Dies. They slowly relocated to Garland, Texas. Apparently, this is because Chin thought saying Garland really fast sounded like Godland.
From what Master Chin says, Garland sounds like Godland, and apparently thousands of years ago, God was here and they were told to return here.
Garland. 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 What's that sound like? Can I do that accent or is that a problem?
I think it's fine.
All right. Chin had guaranteed on his own life that God would make his appearance in Texas, of all places. Not a bad bet. You're in good company in Texas saying that kind of shit. Where would God go first? Everyone's like, probably fucking Texas. Probably fucking Texas, all right? In total, they purchased around 30 houses on Ridgedale Avenue, soon handing out flyers to its other inhabitants on bicycles in order to thank them for tolerating their activity in the neighborhood as well as their magnanimous acceptance. Trying to win people over. It's like, more money. Garland, we kind of weird. See a ball in sky.
Oh, no.
Garland, what's that sound like to you? Like, what? Garland, what's it sound like? Rhetorical. Don't talk. I talk you don't talk back. They would wear all white outfits and cowboy hats. Awesome. That is so sick. Confusing the neighborhood as to why they suddenly become the headquarters of a strange cult. Some claim they were friendly and that their beliefs were simply amusing to them. AKA, they're like, look, they look funny. What do you guys happen? Be alien. You don't talk to them. We cowboy now. Right. Oh, okay. You are phony as man.
But when
that
did
is
they?
awesome.
Oh,
They claim
no.
that on
When did they fucking stop believing in that, though? Did they, like, turn on the leader guy?
the 25th, just days before, God would show himself on Channel 18 across every television set in the country, taking on Chin's exact appearance.
It's 5 minutes after 12 right now, and Hunmin Chin's not on there yet. And according to his own philosophy and preachings that we've heard, he's a phony.
He knew he had an interview coming up.
So he had an interview for why it didn't happen and he just never showed?
I don't know. From there, God would then help people survive a nuclear apocalypse that would occur in 1999. It would bring people to a specific rendezvous point on the shores of Lake Michigan, where flying saucers would take them to heaven after potentially stopping briefly on planet Mars, of course. And people in the neighborhood feared that the group would end up committing a because, you know, Heaven's Gate. March 31st rolled around and still nothing happened. Chin approached a crowd of reporters and stated that he must have misinterpreted God's message. He stated that his remaining followers would once again relocate to New York. A large majority of them...
Oh my God, and the group definitely is just dwindling, you know? 140 people to start. First miss, 100. Second miss, 80. Third miss, 60. Like, he's getting a smaller and smaller circle here that's following him place to place.
Gave up on Chin 2 entirely and began the process of moving back to Taiwan. He told everyone that he would punish himself by giving everyone in the crowd the next 10 minutes to either crucify or stone him to death, which nobody took him.
What? He told his followers, all right, you guys could just stone me to death. It's fine. I was wrong.
From there, Chin Tao's numbers were severely reduced, and the group faded into obscurity by the early 2000s. Who even knows? He might even still be out there.
I hope they crucified him.
What if one guy's like, I will? He's like, well.
The one guy actually does lean it. You guys could stone me, man. I'm sorry. I was so wrong about the end of the world. All right, I'll do it. Oh, wait, no. No. When I meant like figuratively stone, like maybe hurl insults at me, not actually kill me.
1 second. The ball just like fucking gets stoned. End of the world predictions have only become more common with the advancement of technology. And it wasn't too long ago that people thought computers were going to end the world.
There still exists a general state of either denial, complacency, or even apathy about both the reality and the potential effects of Y2K.
The year is 1999. And a lot of people are getting ready to celebrate the new millennium. However, not everyone's excited. A large group of people fully believe that the world was going to end as soon as the ball dropped because the world's computers would fail.
8 to 10% of the population were fairly confident that this was going to be an apocalypse.
It It was
8 to 10% of the world population believed that the world would end or go into disaster in 2000. What, because technology would stop working because it wasn't able to function or something? Why the fuck would technology stop working?
believed that the planes would crash, nuclear reactors would melt down, and systems controlling rockets would fail and be launched at random. All of this delirium stemmed from a simple misunderstanding of computers' code. Up until this point, computers' dates had worked from 00 to 99. But people believed that when the computer switched to 00, it would actually go back to 1900 and cause computer systems to fail. Oh, God!
No, it would just change the number. And the year 2000 is also based off the Gregorian calendar, which the majority of the world functions on. It actually has no definitive relation to the Earth at all. We for some reason live at 2025. It's not actually 2025. The Earth has been around for a long fucking time. It's based off the Gregorian calendar, which is based off Jesus.
God! To prepare for this upcoming event.
But roughly, because actually wasn't Jesus actually born around like the year 4 AD, not 0? Yeah, he was born between 6 and 4 BC. I don't know.
Then people withdrew their cash, believing that electronic banking would fall apart and destroy them financially. Businesses like Best Buy and Radio Shack warned people to turn off their computers so they wouldn't be messed with the time switch. And others built bunkers and stocked up supplies. On New Year's Day, all the computers switched over and there were minor crashes. Various ATMs were temporarily down and stoplights occasionally stopped working and random databases went down. No major computer system failed and all seemed to be normal. Out of all the crazes, nobody died, though a 104-year-old woman was invited to join a preschool because the system believed she was 4. Isn't that cute? That's awesome. If you're watching this, chances are the most memorable end of the world prediction from your...
That is pretty funny. You live so long that you start getting emails to join a preschool because because computers recognize you as 4 years old.
Your lifetime is the 2012 phenomenon. For people that don't remember this, or if you're too young or whatever, let me just tell you, when I was a kid, the 2012 thing, people were actually afraid of 2012. They were really afraid. My grandma, who has now passed, was like, we were watching the History Channel. She used to chain smoke cigarettes. We'd be watching like the History Channel. Of course, the History Channel had nothing to do with history. It was like aliens and shit. And she's chain smoking cigarettes, and then we were watching this 2012 thing, and she was getting me like horrified. And I was like watching it. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, like full on telling her, or full on telling him, you know, this is actually gonna happen. It's 2010. You only got 2 more years left, Hunter. I'd take those years I'd cherish them if I were you. Me, I've lived a long life. You're gonna die young. Sorry.
This is real? I'm like, this is like how many? This is like 10 years from now, you know, whatever. And she was like, when that year comes around, we should all stay together and we should just get together and make sure that we're with family. And I was like, a haunting thing to say. It's like so cryptic, but everything's there. Like, you were gonna die and we should be together. It fucked me up, dude.
Was it the Nostradamus?
No, it was like, it's been so long, I can't remember. But all I know is just like the Mayan calendar's ending. Which also, even as a kid though, she's like, what the do they know? And she was like, well, the Mayans. I'm like, who cares about the Mayans? The fuck, maybe they ran out of stone. You know what I mean? I mean, how far were they just like, I mean, it'll pretty much be done by then. The idea that the world would face a cataclysmic event in 2012 didn't emerge out of nowhere. In fact, people claim that it was predicted thousands of years ago during the ancient Mayan civilization. A device called the long count calendar was used to measure time at a very long cycle that counted years in large chunks. In short, a new grand cycle was said to occur after every 13 Baktuns. Each Baktun consisted of 394.26 years. And it was just so happens that the 13th one lands on December 21st, 2012. Instead of treating it similarly to the exciting beginning of a new millennium, people convinced themselves that a terrifying world-ending event would occur at the time. So much so that they even made a movie about it with John Cusack. Really dumb. Not a good movie. He's in a limo and whatever. Theories are ranged from disastrous fires, flooding, aliens invasions, and planetary collisions, and mass extinction. Some kids growing up around believers of this impending disaster admitted to developing serious fear and anxiety problems in their older years to their parents' endless paranoia. It was up. If you have said like,
bro, but like the Mayans didn't even say the world was gonna end. It was just their calendar reset, and then people were like, yeah, this definitely means the Mayans knew the aliens were coming and they were gonna fucking kill everybody on Earth.
The worst thing you can do is tell your kid like, I'm really afraid. Because like as a kid you're like, what? And they're like, you're fine. I'm afraid. Custom high-end doomsday bunkers saw a 700% rise.
Yeah, as a parent, you got to just lie to your kid in that sense. Like, even if you are scared, you just tell them you're not. Because if you tell your kid, your kid, like a 5-year-old's going to look at their parents as like God. They're the end all to everything. So whatever they say goes. So if you tell them you're fucked, that'd be like, in their perspective, God telling you he's terrified and he has no control. You'd be like, what do you mean? You're the only one that what do you mean? You're at the top. Like, that'd be mortifying.
During this time, as ultra-wealthy people wanted to play it safe and ensure the safety of their friends and family. Some preppers, like Tim Ralston in Arizona, would often perform doomsday dress rehearsals with the 2 children to make sure they were ready for the worst come December 21st. Another couple, Kathy and Bruce from New England, decided to stockpile bees instead of weapons. According to them, honey would become a valuable bartering tool in the coming apocalypse. I love that dude. That's a badass. Over in China, Liu Xingzhe decided to go a much different route, spending his entire life savings of $160,000 to build a 70-foot by 50-foot ark-like vessel to protect himself. He feared flooding the most and believed
that shit does not look like it would float.
Taking his homes to the seas would be the best option. Liu offered to let other people take refuge in alongside him. My boy Liu's selfless. He's a good man. In the end, the day came and went without anything significant occurring. Here we are.
I like to think that every time these doomsday predictions, that they actually happen in an alternate universe or the universe that keeps going on.
You like to think that?
Yeah.
Like we're a quantum immortality universe.
On TikTok, a woman opened up about how she and her husband have been talking with the Sumerian demon since July of 2013.
Me and my husband have essentially been talking to something on a Ouija board that goes by the name of 7.
Oh, something on a Ouija board that goes by the name 7. Oh, wait, let's rewind. You and your husband were talking to a thing on a Ouija board made by Hasbro Games,
who has been telling us that the world is going to end May 27th, 2025.
On TikTok rules, dude. She claims that one day the couple got bored and began to use a Ouija board, and out of nowhere, it began to talk to them in reverse binary.
In the moment, we have no idea what.
Bro, y'all are lame as hell. I'm so sorry. You and your fucking husband or boyfriend literally spent hours just fake moving a Ouija board around and fucking trying to decrypt what it was telling to you. This is so lame. Bro. She has a notebook of, dude, they probably sat by this Ouija board for like hours.
What this means, we Googled it later. This is again July 2013. And it turns out it's binary, but it's backwards binary. So in this way, it meant nothing. But when we reversed the numbers, it meant hello.
Since that day, they began regularly communicating with the demon. Goddamn, they became friends with him.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, Rockschmaw, you there? Yo, Rockschmaw's funny as dude. The demon had told them that they are the 3rd group he has contacted. And the first 2 died during the first atomic bomb dropped in World War II. And the others was when JFK was assassinated. So the demon contacted JFK. Eventually, it revealed that the world would end on May 27th, 2025. It repeatedly told them to climb the mountain or return to the mountain in Sumerian. She said that they revealed the secret to close friends and strangers once they were drunk.
We have shared this with people. They either kind of wave it off, they're like, oh, that's cool, or they pretend, they say they're interested, but then they never really follow up.
Another person...
Yeah, because they're just trying to be nice and not call you fucking insane. Because they're your friends. They're not trying to go, hey, Cynthia, I think you're actually fucking crazy. I think this is the stupidest thing you've ever told me. And the fact that you and your husband have been spending the last, 3 years communicating to a demon on a Hasbro Games board is a bit of a waste of time.
Claims to have a recurring dream every 7 to 8 years where people all around the world gather to watch as the moon turns completely black. Like the eclipse? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not long after, large groups of alien ships fly out from behind it and start terrorizing Earth. People flee and pray as they try to survive. Eventually, the night sky is empty and blown apart.
Like if I could only buy a Ouija board at like if I could only buy a Ouija board with like the blood of a frog and the hand of a monkey, and I had to go under a bridge at 3 a.m. and unlock a door in a weird black market to buy the board, I would believe that board was real. but the fact that I could go to my local Target and buy a Ouija board next to a Lego set of Super Mario Bros. Is probably telling me that that Ouija board is fucking fake. How do you say it? Ouija. A Ouija. I don't give a shit. A Ouija board. A Ouija board.
The person fully believes this is coming soon and that there have been warning signs all along. Yo,
a Luigi board. Maybe that's why it's next to Mario.
Roxas, stop that shit, bro. I'm gonna pee. A lot of people claim to have aliens in their dreams. Like one person who claimed to see a biblically accurate alien enslave the earth. Okay, first off, a biblically accurate alien. Got it. In their dream, a giant orange orb hovers over the earth, which is pulsating with plasma energy. It doesn't have eyes or any facial features, but everyone on earth felt like they were being watched. He described the being as God and explained that he knew without a doubt that the end of the world was imminent. The dream ended with the alien keeping people captive inside of a structure-like shopping mall and also abducting people and putting them into a giant orange orb. Sounds like he just wants to go to Orange Julius at the mall. Doesn't it? And I was super thirsty when I woke up. Rockshaw, stay away from me, man. Nobody truly knows when the world's gonna end, and that's probably a good thing. There are scientists out there who have listed numerous ways in which the Earth could end, right? Whether it's soon or within the next 1,000 years, but so far, every single prediction has been dead wrong. The next time you hear about some crazy world-ending event, take a step back and really think about what's being said. It's probably coming from someone who's chronically online or a scam artist looking to drain you of your bank account. Or, you know, pollution and all that kind of stuff will kill us too. There's a lot of fun ways the Earth's gonna end. It's gonna be sick. But hey, at least we have YouTube, am I right? Roll them credits!
I really liked that video. That was fun hearing about the various ways people convinced themselves the world was gonna end. Anyways. The paradox of Joe Bartolozzi.
This is Joe Bartolozzi. Loud, raging, screaming. And online, that's how you win. Bigger reactions, bigger personalities, losing control on purpose.
All right, spitting all over the keyboard. Ugh.
The algorithm rewards the loudest version of yourself. And for a while, Joe looked exactly like that. He wore a white beanie, a wife beater, and yelled at things. That was...
Dude, I genuinely despise my old videos, though. Like, I can't watch my content from, like, 2022 and prior. Like, that shit is unfucking bearable, dude. My voice is even more annoying than it is now. I'm, like, so obviously faking the anger, and it's just too over the top. It's, like, stereotypical, like, Jersey Shore Italian. Same fit. I mean, yeah, same fit. Different tank tops, to be fair. Different tank tops. Don't wear the cross anymore. I don't really rock the beanie. Different haircut. Oh my god.
Joe Bart character. But there's another side of him that most creators never show.
I do not currently believe in a singular or one god.
Honest, authentic, and philosophical.
I don't know who I am.
A side of him that, on paper, shouldn't work. I mean, when you're getting 20 million views a video, you don't quit TikTok.
20 million? No process. I mean, he's probably going to go into this, but like, the transition from TikTok to YouTube wasn't immediate. Like, I think he's telling the story right, but I didn't just, like, pivot from... Bro, this is a good picture. What the fuck are you talking about? It wasn't an instant pivot from, like, TikTok to YouTube. Like, that took years. Like, years. I had done TikTok, made no money until, like, late 2021. Then slowly transitioned to Twitch, into YouTube, and then cycled the two back to each other, and then slowly just decreased how much I posted on TikTok. Like, early TikTok, I used to post 5 times a day, and now I don't post at all anymore, really. But it, like, went from 5 times a day to 4 times a day to 3 to 2 to 1 to 1 every other to 3 times a week to once a week to once every other week, and then nothing. Like, that is the order that it went. It was like a slow cutback. Like, that would be the ideal now as well. Like, I wouldn't ever, people are like, oh, when are you going to be done? Like, I wouldn't want to abruptly just be like, oh, I'm done. But it would be like a slow burn, if that makes sense.
Well, it definitely wasn't overnight. Joe
Yeah.
Bartolozzi, or as the internet knows him, Joe Bart, was born on February 6, 2002, and raised in small-town New Jersey. He ran track and field in high
Stockton.
school, and he was good. I mean, he was really.
That video's so shit, though. Dude, people were watching this, and they were like, bro, you're ass. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I hadn't jumped over a hurdle in fucking 3 years.
He was good. I mean, he was really good. But he was even better at one thing: entertainment.
Why the entire outside of your toilet is covered in
Joe understood the strategy to going viral better than anyone else. The early days of TikTok didn't just change content, it changed attention itself.
I didn't understand it. I'm gonna fucking disagree. I didn't understand it at all. I would make, dude, I actually made more than 5 videos a day now that I'm thinking about it. I used to make like 6 to 8 videos a day, post all of them, and then like maybe 2 would do okay. 1 every other few days would pop off, and then the rest would dud, and I'd just delete them. Like, you missed a number? Yeah, I purposefully skipped that one. But I would, dude, I remember sitting in high school and just like fucking just thinking of dumb rants I could make. And then I got into like, dude, I used to just be all over the place. I made random shit. Didn't really have any niche. Got into the niche of rants. Then I did reacts and kind of stuck with those 2 for a while till transitioning out.
TikTok rewarded interruption. You had seconds.
I would do like random skit, stupid shit like this too.
Literally seconds to make someone stop scrolling before they were gone forever. And Joe's high-octane style was built for this moment. His content exploded. Loud storytelling.
Men's bathroom rules. That was the first. Men's bathroom rules and pronunciation videos were the first 2 that I did that did well. I made fun of people that said crayon like crown or crayon. And I just went over like basic rules at a urinal where it's like you're supposed to stand 1 gap urinal away from somebody unless the bathroom's full and there's a line. Like, it was just very basic shit. It wasn't something that was like hyper unique. I think that developed over time. Like, there wasn't really a personality at first. It was more so just I'm just trying to grasp at straws of relatability.
Rage clips, unfiltered reaction that didn't give you
that's when the Queen died. I remember that day.
Time to think before you were already laughing. The views started.
I was literally I was walking out of the door to go to school because I had class. I had philosophy class, and I see on the news like Queen Elizabeth died, and I was like, jaw drop, made a video. That's like one of my best videos, performance-wise. I think it was just because I was one of the first people to say it. Like, I think I literally saw it as it happened.
Slowly, the white beanie, the wife beater, and the loud crash outs, that stopped becoming
worst merch I've ever made.
Just content. It became identity. Joe Bartolozzi had become a character, and after a while, a character he didn't want to be anymore.
Bro, yeah, I've ranted about that. I think it started to like mend and meld with like me, and I got like more narcissistic and just like, oh God, man, it just became like a weird, like it was like a weird persona where you're kind of like turning it. It was like method acting, but like becoming the character. It was a character, right? Oh! That I had to put on, and I hated it.
But what Joe didn't realize was that he was trapping himself in the exact place he didn't want to be. Once the internet associates you with a specific version of yourself, it rarely lets you escape it. Let me explain. Every big creator has a bit, a trait that makes them instantly recognizable in a crowded feed. Adapt never misses a trick shot. Queso is fat.
Proof that I'm skinny.
Nah, I feel like Queso's known for perfect timing rather than being fat. Like, Queso's jokes aren't even pre-planned. It's just like everything he says fits the exact timing that would be funniest in that moment.
Los has a chipmunk voice. It basically is the blueprint to get viral clips. Find the thing you're known for and play into it.
Marlon's hot.
The internet doesn't reward...
What's Marlon's thing? Marlon's very attractive.
Complexity at a first glance. It rewards having an instantly recognizable identity. And at the beginning, it feels like a cheat code. The numbers go up, the clips circulate faster, people recognize you in public. You're known for something. But over time, and exactly like it did for Joe, something starts to shift. The bit stops feeling like something you perform and starts feeling like something you owe. What you have to do to get views. And this is what happened to Joe.
That person in that facade I had to do to create that character actually became me.
The anger, the yelling, the beanie, losing control of his emotions on camera. It stopped being a choice and started becoming an expectation. A costume Joe had to put on the moment the camera turned on. And the longer it went on, the harder it became to tell where the
Dude, it wasn't okay. I'm not sitting here and acting like the work was hard. It just like the burnout was so quick. Like I was posting so many videos and I used to film like 5 a day, and it got to a point where I would just film once a week, but I'd sit down for like 5 hours with that fuck ass beanie on and just film like 35 videos. Like I would doom scroll TikTok, pick out like random shit that I could react to, and just genuinely film like 30 to 40 videos in like 5 hours. And then I would just post those over the next week, do the same thing. And it got to a point where like when I really decided, like, I mean, 6 months ago I was posting on TikTok, but I was posting like once every 2-3 weeks or some shit. But like it got to a point where I was like, why am I doing this anymore? Like I hated it. Like I don't like making TikToks. Like every once in a while, maybe there's a rant that I want to do, but I'm like, I could just do it on stream and like rant on stream or rant in a YouTube video or for a philosophy video, then like sit down and put on the stupid beanie and go, oh, this is what I hate about blank and blank.
and where the real Joe began. That's the trap of overnight success. Stay consistent, stay recognizable, stay inside the box the algorithm rewarded you for until it becomes impossible to leave.
Didn't you do it for money? I mean, yeah, but the money wasn't really like the whole point. The money is on YouTube and Twitch. The money isn't on TikTok. Like it was really just a segue. Like I'm not sitting here and saying I didn't make money on TikTok, but I was doing TikTok for 2 years before I even made like a dime off my videos. Like maybe I had a sponsor here or there for like $200, but like there wasn't even a creator fund when I started TikTok. You didn't even get paid for videos. And then when you did, they like juice it initially, and you used to get paid like $100 for 1 million views, and then it went down like so fast. 10K isn't a lot for Joe, by the way. That's not what I said.
But when Joe was faced with this blueprint, he didn't follow it. This is someone pulling hundreds of millions of views off his rage reaction content in a system that rewards repetition above anything else. Most creators at that point would optimize the character. They sharpen it, they scale it, and make it.
I used to shout it out though. 500 people is still a shitload on Twitch. Yeah, my first live did well, but it dipped after that. Like if you check my Twitch tracker, I had 500 viewers first live, but like I was averaging like 150 or 180 or something. Like I would shout it out, get an influx of people, and then everybody would leave. So like whatever I peaked wasn't actually my average, just because I was spam promoting my own stream.
Don't be wrong, this is good for a new streamer, but
it's still crazy.
Wasn't the hype that Joe was expecting. But he started building quickly, and people came to like this new side of Joe.
That's enough to quit your job. If you get 500 views one time and then quit your job, that is the stupidest thing ever.
But the part of Joe's story that most people connect with the most is also what cost him the most.
And then this is where you kind of hit a crossroads.
The internet romanticizes authenticity, but authenticity is dangerous online. The second your content stops being a character and starts becoming your actual thoughts, your actual emotions, your actual life, the line between creator and person starts disappearing. And for Joe, this meant letting everyone into the saddest parts of his life.
Bro, I have chatters that deal with this. Like I've had chatters that have like died of cancer. And they're like fucking like 15, man.
When you play a character, you can eventually turn it off. The stream ends, the costume comes off, and you go back to being yourself. But Joe stopped hiding behind a character years ago, which means the stream keeps following him, even when the cameras aren't rolling. Most creators
that's gonna make me sad.
Would hide these personal moments. Vulnerability usually breaks the performance. It ruins the illusion that everything is under control. But Joe leaves these moments in on purpose. That's the difference. When he cries on stream, it doesn't feel like some calculated moment designed for sympathy. When he talks about...
Well, no, and it's like when if I crash out on stream, a lot of that's like more for a bit and like maybe some serious. A lot of the time it is serious if I'm fucking tweaking about tech issues or something. But like if I cry on stream, that's real, bro. Like I wouldn't fake being sad. Like I don't know. I just can't. Like I can't act sad. Like if I'm sad, I'm sad, you know? And it's like, I feel bad too, because like I get so many stories. I've said this before. I get so many sad messages from chatters. And like sometimes I'm not getting them. Most of the time I don't really get emotional. I just like, oh, I'm sorry. Because it hits me in waves. And a lot of the time I'm like numb to it. So like I want y'all to know, like, I really do feel for a lot of the shit you go through. It's just like, I'm not going to get super emotional every time.
Fear of death?
And he said, I love you, Joe. Oh my God, I'm going to cry.
It doesn't feel like content engineered for engagement. It feels raw in a way the internet usually edits out. And because of that, people stopped feeling like they were watching a content creator. They started feeling like they actually knew him. And that's really the paradox of Joe Bartolozzi. Because on the surface, he looks like the exact type of creator the modern internet was designed for. Loud, chaotic, explosive, which he still is when he wants to be. But underneath all of that is someone almost completely opposite from the character he started out as.
Your life is still worth living, man. You're in high school. You have so many years ahead of you.
Emotional in a way most creators are terrified to be once millions of people are constantly watching them. And yet, that's the exact reason we watch Joe Bart.
That was a good video, bro. That was a good video. That made me sad. Chat, I need a piece so bad coming up like a minute or two, and then we're gonna hop into games. Failed end of the world predictions. Papa Meat.
I don't want to set the world.
The recent one on TikTok. What do you think those people are doing now? If you don't know about that, there was a lot of people on TikTok recently that were selling their homes and cars and giving away all their items, putting their kids up for adoption. Not a lot. It was probably like 100 people. But there were people that definitively tried to get like rid of all their goods for the rapture. Because they believed that the world was ending and the devil or demons were going to take over Earth. And they were going to be sucked into heaven. And there were like rapture tip videos on how you should stand outside so you don't get stuck on your ceiling, which I thought was kind of stupid because if you were getting raptured, you would think that God would just be able to morph you through the wall. But a lot of people were seemingly worried that there would be something blocking their headspace and they would be kind of stuck to the ceiling. Like you're in one of those UFO carnival rides. And God would be trying to rapture you, but he would give up because your drywall was blocking you.
Welcome back to the Papa Beat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today we're going to...
Yeah, roofs are rapture proof.
Talk about end of the world predictions. Throughout time, there has always been the prevalent belief that we are living in the end times, right? We are always living in the end times. Whether it's natural disasters, nationwide pandemics, or something based on religious scripture. It's always a looming fear that hangs upon many people's heads. People have predicted when the world will...
I do kind of wish... Whoa. I do kind of wish that, sorry, that, I lost my train of thought there. There was a lot of, okay. Anyways, I kind of wish that I was around, well, I was around, but not 10. I was 10 years old during the 2012 apocalypse. Anybody remember that? Like, I didn't hear about that shit until way later. I kind of wish that I was able to experience in my current conscious form the mass hysteria that was the 2012 apocalypse, where a lot of people full believed that the world was going to end in 2012.
Meet its end even as far back as the first millennium. These predictions often resulted in a mass hysteria, with believers going to great lengths to prepare themselves physically and emotionally for their fine.
I love Doomsday Preppers, though. That show's awesome. My favorite part is the first 5-second intro, my name's Dale and I'm getting ready for a fucking sun flare. There's a lot of realistic ones like that. And then it'll be like, my name's... I don't know why I'm always doing like a brutish Southern male. But my name's John and I'm getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. Okay, pal. He himself is also working on the rabies offshoot that he wants to unleash to the public because he wants the zombie apocalypse to happen a little too much.
All day. The most recent iteration of this endlessly recurring phenomenon can be found on TikTok, taking shape in a specific community known as Christian talk.
A very small subsection of Christian talk, though. Like the majority of it was like 99.9% of Christians on Christian talk were like, guys, the rapture's not happening tomorrow. guys, this is a little unreal.
The only God, the white Christian God. Jesus, blonde hair, blonde mullet, blue eyes, flip-flops, and a Dale Earnhardt tattoo. The Intimidator. Recently, there has been a ton of Christians on TikTok freaking out about the rapture that was set to take place on September 23rd and 24th. That was rapture talk grew as...
Bro, what I hate about this is, say at some point, it's in our lives, we have like, what was that movie with the meteor with Leonardo DiCaprio? And the meteor was going to hit Earth, and like nobody believed it initially. It will straight up be Don't Look Up. If we have a Don't Look Up scenario where like a meteor is hauling towards Earth and we're all going to die, I will be so viscerally upset. Number one, that Earth's going to explode. But more so, the amount of people that would be like, this is it. This is the sitting there acting like they got that shit right. Like every time there's some drama shit, bro, somebody being like, yeah, I could have predicted this from the start. I've been saying this the whole time. Yeah, there would be a few dickheads that would be like, I actually knew the meteor was going to hit. This was God's plan for me all along. He told me when I was 12. Okay.
The movement spread and became more popular. Thousands of people were posting about how they fully believed.
Oh no, get ready, the king is coming. So excited. 9/23/24. Also, aren't you not supposed to know if you're going to heaven or hell? Like, isn't that saying if you're like, yeah, I'm getting raptured. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting raptured. You're not. Get ready, because this is going to be really exciting. Like, that's kind of like narcissistic that you're outwardly saying that you're definitively getting raptured because you're such a good boy. Like, yes, you believe in God, but even accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you should always be like on edge based on how I've learned about Christianity my entire life, is that like nobody's ever 100% safe unless you're literally declared a saint in the Catholic Church long after you die.
That the end times were coming. Some were overjoyed, while others were stricken with intense grief. Oh God, we're gonna die. It's a bummer. This all began when South African pastor Joshua Mikela claimed to have...
Wrong? Really? How? How are you... You're supposed to know definitively that you're going to heaven? There should always be some level of unease. No? Correct me if I'm wrong, genuinely.
A vision of Jesus telling him of his return to earth. According to Josh, he saw Jesus on a throne telling him, I am coming soon.
I am coming soon.
Jesus then told him dates of his arrival, which were 2 weeks out.
Bro doing a podcast with a bare brick in the motherfucking back, telling me that the rapture's coming on September.
From his vision. A clip of an interview with Josh talking about his vision blew up and started the whole craze. But no one could have predicted the mass hysteria that would follow. It was pretty shocking. Right out of the gate, people began to post videos of themselves preparing their houses for the people left behind.
If you're seeing this and you're still here, I'm so sorry that you didn't make it. At least you're here getting to do all the sins that you wanted to do. And
the guy that bought her car for $1 the day after the rapture when she comes back asking for it back. The guy that's actively in a fucking U-Haul moving into her house when she walks back to her house. Ah, sorry.
Be naughty with your fellow sinners. I don't know. Maybe you can make the best out of it. But yeah, goodbye.
Bro, like, what are those people doing right now? Like, I want to know so bad. They're out. Do you think they just moved? Like, do you think they've moved past that? Have to have. But there's no way. Like, there's no way your entire being believes that the world's going to end, and then a month later, you're not in shambles. Like, I feel like you would be distraught for like a year if you fully felt that the world was definitively going to end.
Yeah, if anybody's here after the...
But they're like, it's not, honestly, it's not even like they've been misled. It's like a level of like mental instability, bro. Like that's... Like it's not like, oh, you're just like hyper religious. No, it's like you're like falling for a podcast clip of a fucking pastor saying that he saw a vision the world's gonna end.
Rapture, because my ass is going up. I got a jacuzzi back there. Feel free to use it, bozo. One woman stocked up on candles and Bibles, as well as leaving behind laminated note cards of script.
Why are you stocking up on Bibles? The world's ending. You're getting sucked into the sky in a blue beam of light. What the fuck?
Bibles.
Oh, is she handing these out to people? Jesus loves you. If this woman handed me a fucking Bible that said Jesus loved you, and then I didn't get raptured, and earth was set on blaze, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck is this doing for me? I'm dead.
As well as leaving behind laminated note.
What did that say? It's not you?
As well as leaving behind laminated note.
It's not too late. I gotta read that.
And laminated.
It's not too late to take this Bible. Find other believers. Be careful who you trust. Do not take the mark in hand or forehead. Huh?
Note cards of scripture.
Where did everybody go? Many people vanished because they believe in Jesus Christ, Son of God. And in something, take them to heaven. This is God to save those who trust him.
For the sinners who she believed would enter
Oh my God, this
home.
is like so reminding me of when I left the gym one day and some dude shoved a fucking card in my door and I read it in my car and he was claiming to be Jesus Christ in the flesh. And he was asking for like help in his search to create his own new like subsect of, I've told you guys this story. This was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I left the gym and there was a dude that shoved like a pamphlet in my fucking car door. And I read it and he literally was claiming to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Like he was, I wish I kept it. I threw it out and it was like full-blown religious psychosis. It was the craziest thing I've ever read from like a random guy.
Probably fornicate with each other, because what else are they going to do with hell on earth?
It's true. No rules.
Did you get an autograph? No, I didn't see the dude. It was just in my door.
Like Jesus said, I am going to come in 2 weeks, and I'm going to take all of the sinners and leave them.
Do you think he meant the other come?
Yeah, what if that was the thing? What if Joshua was right and he was like, hey, by the way, Joshua, I'm going to come in 2 weeks. I cannot wait for that day.
Jesus, what?
Whoa! Other believers began quitting their jobs, selling their cars, and rumors spread that some people were even selling their homes. According to one user online, her psychiatrist permanently closed her practice because she fully believed that the rapture was coming. A psychiatrist. She completely abandoned her patients and began posting TikToks about her excitement for...
I think you probably shouldn't be going to that psychiatrist to begin with, but I think that's honestly a good thing. I think... if you have a psychiatrist and she shuts down her business because she fully believes the rapture is coming, I think, honestly, you've probably done yourself a solid to find another psychiatrist.
The end times. Her patients were left in disbelief and shared her videos showing how insane she looked for abandoning her decade-long practice and for posting about TikTok.
Thank you, Rapture Talk, for making me get rid of everything they own for free and not care. Why does she have 9 fucking cameras from like 2003?
It's online.
My God, why do you have so many cameras?
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. If it's just going to happen, you got a 2-week heads up. Take a 2 weeks vacation. See if it,
No. I'm closing it down. It's the principal, Nick. Because she's like, it doesn't matter. We're free. She's letting them know, too. She's making a statement, right? She's standing behind. She's staying on business. Listen.
You should... yourself.
You should go on the tallest building. You should yourself. Jump. Jump off it up, no fly. Big splat on ground. Hey, we just want to thank today's sponsor real quick, Star Ford. And hey, back to the video. Since they were not expecting to be left on Earth, people began to give away all their money to random strangers. Smart, smart, smart. An Uber driver posted about how they were picking up a couple after church who were crying hysterically.
And they get in my car and, they're weeping. And so I'm like, hey, is everything okay? They were like, yeah, the Lord is coming back. Jesus is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, wait, like tomorrow? They were like, yeah, I think it's like between the 23rd and the 24th. I was like, oh.
Bro, I'd get fired over that shit. Oh my God, I would get banned on the Uber app. I'd be like, your crazy ass thinks you're getting raptured tomorrow, bro. I wouldn't be able to hold that in. Like if I was Uber driving two people out of church and they were crying, saying they were gonna get taken in light, like floating into the sky, I'd be like, bro, you need
okay.
They said they believed the rapture was coming the next day and wanted to bless their driver with the remaining money since they wouldn't need it. Oh, dude, this
makes us Christians look bad. I think most people recognize the difference between Christianity and insane people that think they're getting raptured. Like now, right? Like believing the rapture different from being like, yeah, I'm getting raptured tomorrow.
It's a blessing in disguise. God was just like, you got it, dude. There's your tip. You know what I mean? So before they got out of the car, they handed their driver a huge roll of cash containing various dollar bills and coins from around the world.
So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now,
they just gave him money?
Various dollar bills and coins from around the world.
So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now, keep in mind, in this bundle, there's even coins in it because it was like in this like cup thingy or whatever. So there's even like euros, and I see some Canadian money in here. So there's dollars, there's hundreds, there's 20s, there's fives. Like there's all the denominations inside of this. So I have yet to count it up. So I'm going to count it up and come back. Hold on.
After counting it up, it totaled to over $1,900.
They gave bro $2,000? Nah, him being nice was probably the move. What the fuck?
They also said that they were getting together in their neighborhood to discuss giving away their homes and more.
Oh my God, dude, oh no, that's dickhead shit if you feed into that. I would have to be like, please don't do this. You're fucking yourself over. But part of me so aren't actually their real names. That actually, like, I get like upset making bank. Like
2025, the community has remained invested. The engagement helped.
When they change their name, what is Vin Diesel's real name? Mark Sinclair. That upsets me. That like I don't know why it upsets me.
You know why I'm not speechless?
Why?
Because I'm an island.
Worse, when the island boy
Snoop Dogg? Oh my God, what is Snoop Dogg's real name? Calvin Cordozer Broadus Jr.
Financial advice further hurt their image.
You really don't want to go there, bro.
I could go there. Because I was giving you guys nice advice and you guys were being assholes.
Hey, George, keep talking now and walk out.
After this aggressive display, the brothers would storm out of the podcast, leading...
Oh no, the impulsive podcast.
That George was his most recent upload crossed 1 million views, which might be all the support he needs to continue making. Only one who took them a little seriously, and they took it on him. That's barking to the wrong tree. Since that episode, the content he enjoys. Unlike Salt Bay, real name Nusrat Gochi, whose future in content creation doesn't look, the Island Boys have only gone downhill, losing views across social media before fading away. Their follow-up songs failed to receive the same engagement as their viral freestyle, with no new uploads since 20 look bright after a series of controversies. But his current status contrasts sharply with the viral moment in 2023. But 3 years before their one-hit wonder,
well, don't they hate each other now or something?
Another unlikely artist had already yodeled his way into the internet's heart.
Oh my God, bro. He makes good music now? Fuck, this video pissed me off when I was a kid. Dude. Because I'm pretty sure he's like a little younger than me. And I remember being like, dude, this actually just annoys the shit out of me. Just like some grandma watching some kid yodel in Walmart. He makes good music now. Bro got a 4-pound belt buckle.
This would be Mason Ramsey, who was just 11 years old when he was filmed by a customer in a Walmart in March of 2018. The video quickly racked up millions.
Just a fucking dark contrast to my experience in Walmart.
2017 that saw him become a beloved meme, with celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and David Beckham.
I don't know where this Walmart is, but when I go into a Walmart, not the
Beckham hopping on the trend, the Turkish chef quickly became a globally recognized figure. This fame helped.
Yeah, it was just like a fun video, I guess. But I always see those, and I see dupes of like Salt Bay restaurant, the vibe that I get.
Turning the then unknown child into an instant sensation. Within weeks, Mason was officially dubbed the Walmart Yodeling Kid and was booked for appearances on the Ellen DeGeneres.
Don't get me on Ellen. Don't get me on Ellen, man. Bro, I have been, like, just not a fan of the Ellen show. I know it's not on anymore, but, like, oh, my God. My mom used to watch the Ellen show. And that do, like, a performance. And I love when I see I open the comment. The top comment is, how much could I... And I hated it. Dude, there's one scene I always remember, and I've talked about it, where they had some Gen Z kid try to use a rotary phone. And she's like, pay for you to not do this. To like fucking light something on fire and then do a whole performance in front of me. You don't know how to. You don't. And the whole audience is dying. And I'm like, no shit, they don't know how to use a rotary phone. It's not the fucking 80s. It's, hey, we're watching you on a flat screen. I'm like, wow, this is really uppricing me for something that I just give me the food.
Of luxury steak
right now, brother. What are we doing? Why are we still going, like, why are we making fun of people for not knowing how to use a fucking rotary phone? Why would you know how to do that if you've never seen one?
Coachella. That same year, he signed with Big Loud Records and released Famous, a country pop track that earned over 2 million Spotify streams within a few days and entered the Billboard Hot 100. Despite his success, Mason stepped away from the spotlight by 2019, leaving fans to wonder about his sudden disappearance. They wouldn't hear from him again until 2 years later when Mason made a surprise return on Instagram. Sorry I've been so quiet on social media lately. I've been living my life and took a step back from everything for a bit. Hang tight because I got big plans for 2022. These plans would include content creation on TikTok, where one of his first videos reached 23 million views, leading to a fresh wave of
he works at a fucking pizza place. I thought he was doing concerts and shit.
Admiration for the Walmart Yodeling Kid. At least he's staying humble, unlike a lot of houses across major cities like Dubai and New York. But as the memes faded, so did the chef's good fortune. People who get a taste of fame. We need more talented people like this. He carried this humility into his music career, which he quietly revived soon afterwards in April 2022 and continues to focus on as of 2025. But not every viral moment and a
Bro, I gotta hear the new 26 Mason Ramsey, bro.
Within a year, Nusret found himself in hot water for posting a tribute to Fidel Castro, a move that
Oh my God, wait, he's bringing the yodel, but it's not annoying anymore.
Angered many Cuban Americans and affected his business plans in Miami. From there, things only got worse.
This shit's trash? I don't think it's trash.
Retail store has a happy ending, as seen with Alex Lee, whose claim to
oh my God, the Target guy.
fame while
Alex from Target, dude. People were tweaking over Alex from Target. I remember I was so jealous of Alex.
A fire stunt gone wrong at his Istanbul restaurant left a tourist with burns all over her body. This was
from Target. Like, the anger, dude, I feel like every guy was like, dude, to be Alex from Target in like 2014 must have been badass.
His chaotic journey was set in motion in November 2014.
That actually sounds horrible now that I'm saying that out loud.
When a photo of him working at Target was tweeted by a teenage girl. The followed by allegations from former employees claiming mistreatment, lawsuits over unpaid tips, and reviews.
Actually, that
photo inspired countless memes, fan edits, and even paparazzi-like attention, with comparing the work environment to The Hunger Games. But just when it seemed Nusret was done with drama, his popularity only skyrocketing when Ellen DeGeneres got in touch.
I mean, are you overwhelmed by this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, you're...
Why are they laughing? Why are the people in the audience laughing? This is a regular interview. This is a regular interview. This is a regular interview. Why are they laughing? See, that's why I hate this fucking show.
I mean, are you overwhelmed by this?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah. Shut. Can we seal their mouths? What are they?
He crashed the 2022 World Cup field, pestering Lionel Messi for photos. The moment sparked in...
What are we laughing?
You know, you're working at Target and then all this happens and then you're sitting on television talking about it. And have you had wedding, like marriage proposals? And
I mean, yeah.
But unlike other one-hit wonders who transformed their virality
Holy shit, dude.
into successful careers, Alex...
It's the same thing. It's like, it's a laugh track, Joe? No, it's a live studio audience. I think they have laugh signs, similar to like the Jimmy Fallon, like late night TV, but this is daytime.
Step away from social media. And while these decisions felt right to him, he later revealed that his peers didn't agree. People around me were saying that I am missing a big opportunity if I were to quit, and others were sending me threats, jealous that it happened to me and not them. He would spend the next 2 years experimenting with social media, from making YouTube videos to sharing powerlifting advice on Instagram. These ventures would only confirm how much he disliked these platforms, though, as he continued to receive unwanted attention over his looks. After quitting social media for good, Alex started leading a much more private life from 2024 onwards. Right now, I have a job at UPS. I load the trucks in the morning, and I have...
Bro, like, I respect him doing what he wants to do to make himself happy. But in his position, I know it's stressful, but I'm like, damn, bro, he could have farmed money for 2 years and then retired. Like, he could have pulled a hawk to a girl. And
international outrage. And while Nusret attempted to explain the situation later on, the damage to his reputation was already done. In the years since, his restaurants have faced declining bookings, poor reviews,
and it, like, just sold the fuck out. And made merch. And fucking leaned into it. Did a Alex from Target tour. Where some company gets a 30% cut. Not everybody's cut out for fame. I agree. Right? But I'm not saying he should have stuck with it. Right, you're getting hate, but I'm like, damn, bro, you could have just fucking, you know, made a quick mill and then dipped, you know? Like, he was like the biggest, he was as big as Nash Greer and Cameron Dallas in that time. It was a lesser amount of fame, but like, people liked Alex from Target as much as the Vine guys.
To say it's so much better than doing social media. It pays a lot less, but I'm a lot happier doing it. Alex knew it was time to move on for the sake of his happiness, which
mental health matters a hell of a lot more, I agree.
Which is something Minecraft YouTuber Mystery Or could also relate to.
I thought we were doing songs. Now we're just going into like random people that just had like a one-time banger.
His career.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am quitting Minecraft.
But 3 years before recording this video, the creator was busy launching a YouTube and even closures, including the shuttering of Salt Bay Burger in New York City. But while between Salt Bay's shimmer of gold-covered
Salt Bay Burger
Dream and Technoblade showcased high production value, resulting in positive feedback from the community. The momentum Stakes is fading fast. Epic Sax Guy, real name Sergey Stepanov, continued with 2 follow-up videos that took his channel to 200,000 subscribers and over 13 million views, making it one of the most viral growths in the Minecraft space. But after this explosive rise, he began to slow down, uploading only sporadically and taking several months off between videos. As the gaps between uploads grew, so did the concerns from fans who feared he was losing interest. Those fears were confirmed.
Where he dry humps the air.
Blows brighter every day since in October of 2023 when...
Yeah, but I don't think you should ever press somebody to, like, do that shit. Like, when I told y'all I was taking 2 days off a week instead of 1, and, like, people crashed out on me, like, the majority of people are like, yo, that's chill. Like, it's for your mental health. I was like, yeah, I just want to take, like, 2 days off, right? And, like, slowly cut back on posting. But, like, some people got, like, mad at me. And I'm like, what are you fucking doing? Like, you could be like, oh, that sucks. But, like, it's not that big of a deal. You know, if a creator...
His gold saxophone moment in 2010. That year, the musician stepped on the Eurovision...
We don't need to watch, doesn't want to post anymore. They don't want to post anymore, right? You got to move on.
Mystery Or announced he was quitting Minecraft after 5 videos amassing over 80 million views.
And I just don't want to be a part of the community anymore. Can you imagine?
Well, the Minecraft community is one of the most toxic communities, so...
No, but seriously, I am ready to move on. If you haven't noticed already, I dropped Or from my name.
Despite the confession, he would quietly return with an upload 7 months later, proving that he just...
Backup dancers, bro.
...stage as one of 6...
Get him up there alone.
...6 members in the band Sunstroke project couldn't let go of his passion just yet. Since then, even though he has only created 3 more...
Bro, it's just an infinite money glitch. I mean, like, you make a 30-minute fucking edited down Minecraft video that's pulling fucking 9 million views, bro. You're making bank. Like,
2025, the community has remained invested. The engagement helped his most recent upload cross 1 million views, which might be all the support he needs to continue making the content he enjoys. Unlike Salt Bae, real name Nusret Gochi, whose future in content creation doesn't look bright after a series of controversies. But his current status contrasts sharply with the viral moment in 2017 that saw him become a beloved meme. With celebrities like Leonardo DiCaprio and David Beckham hopping on the trend, the Turkish chef quickly became a globally recognized figure. This fame helped him representing their country, Moldova.
just mute it. Yeah, it was just like a fun video, I guess. But I always see those, and I see dupes of like Salt Bae restaurants that do like a performance. And I love when I see I open the comment, the top comment is, how much could I... Wow. Watching that on me. Pay for you to not do this. To like fucking light something on fire and then do a whole performance in front of me. I'm like, wow, this is really uppricing me for something that I just give me the food.
Of luxury steakhouses across major cities like Dubai and New York. But as the memes faded, so did the chef's good fortune. Within a year, Nusret found himself in hot water for posting a tribute to Fidel Castro, a move that angered many Cuban Americans and affected his business plans in Miami. From there, things only got worse. Members in the band Sunstroke project representing their country, Moldova. A fire stunt gone wrong at his Istanbul restaurant left a tourist with burns all over her body. This was followed by allegations from former employees claiming mistreatment, lawsuits over unpaid tips, and reviews comparing the work environment to the Hunger Games. But just when it seemed Nusret was done with drama, he crashed the 2022 World Cup field, pestering Lionel Messi for photos. The moment sparked inva, but it wasn't Sergei's vocals or the lyrics that caught everyone's attention. International outrage, and while Nusret attempted to explain the situation later on, the damage to his reputation was already done. In the years since, his restaurants have faced declining bookings, poor reviews, and even closures, including the shuttering of Salt Bae Burger in New York City. But while Salt Bae's shimmer of gold-covered
Salt Bae Burger
steaks is fading fast, epic sax guy, real name Sergei Stepanov, his memorable saxophone
where he dry humps the air.
glows brighter every day since his gold saxophone moment in 2010. That year, the musician stepped on the Eurovision saxophone solo, instantly captured the internet's admiration, giving birth to the epic sax guy meme.
Backup dancers, bro.
Stage as one of six.
Get him up there alone.
Members in the band Sunstroke project representing their country, Moldova.
Just mute it.
They post a 10-hour version of your 18-second performance.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. They'll post a 10-hour... Wow. Watching that on mute.
Members in the band Sunstroke project representing their country, Moldova. But it wasn't Sergei's vocals or the lyrics that caught everyone's attention.
Version of anything.
The meme became so popular that Sergei was invited back to Eurovision. His memorable saxophone solo instantly captured the internet's admiration, giving birth to the epic sax guy meme and spawning loop videos that rack up views to this day. You know you've won Eurovision when then in 2017, where he performed again, fully embracing his online persona. His comeback, they post a 10-hour version of your 18-second performance.
Get the fuck out of here, bro. They'll post a 10-hour version of anything.
The meme became so popular that Sergei was invited back to Eurovision in 2017, where he performed again, fully embracing his online persona. His comeback helped the Sunstroke project place third in the contest, marking the country's best result ever. Since their triumph, helped the Sunstroke project place third in the contest, marking the country's best result ever. Since their triumph, Sergei has continued performing and touring with the band, all while embracing his role as the epic sax guy. To this day, in 2025, he remains a beloved figure across meme culture and musical circles alike, making him...
Sergei blows a hip out on stage. High note on the sax.
One of the most respected one-hit wonders, but nowhere near as expected as our next artist, who has taken the internet and the world by storm.
I just got rickrolled at the end of the video. Fucker. Oh. When the director uses real bullets.
This is Alexei Kravchenko. He's 14 years old, and he's also not an actor. This is his first time on a film set. And this is not CGI. These are real bullets that are flying above his head. And these are real explosions that they're running from. And this is not a film set.
How the f did they get permission to make this movie? They got this kid to agree to this? What are they doing? One take? Hey, make sure you actually don't stand up, by the way. You actually will die. I think I was going to watch... What's the name of this movie? Because I remember seeing this kid. This is a World War II movie. I feel like I was going to watch this. This is definitely on my watch list.
With real deadly parasites. This is a film unlike anything you've ever seen. Spielberg reportedly screened it before the making of Schindler's List, and Tarantino described it as the greatest World War II movie ever made. And what's even more insane is the story of how they made it. Very few people wanted this film to exist. It took nearly a decade and a very, very specific moment in history. This is Come and See.
Wait, it took a decade to make the film?
Chapter 1, The Brutality of War. Belarus, it's 1943. This innocent boy has just found something that will change his life forever. His name is Floria, and he's just dug up a weapon from a dead soldier. Little does he know, he's about to witness some of the most horrific things ever done to humanity.
Oh my god, I thought he was gonna like accidentally shoot his friend. Holy f.
Things ever done
just holding the gun so casually
to humanity. We follow him as he goes from extremely eager to join the war to being harshly affected by it and finally having the strong will to end it. The film then builds to a systematic massacre of an entire village. Civilians are herded into a barn based off of actual accounts. The doors are barred and the building is set on fire. And quite famously, the film includes these direct shots into the actor's face where there's no escape from their misery. But Come and See is not like other war films. We don't follow a superheroic soldier or see any of the famous battles. Instead,
you're following a regular ass kid that lived through that time.
The film takes place within villages and families and children. And the film does not revolve around heroics, but the idea of human suffering and what war does to innocent people. It is equally horrifying every single time you see it. Yet at the same time, it's such a cinematic masterpiece. Everything in this movie brings you to full immersion in a way that modern cinema hasn't been able to quite replicate. And the story of how they made the film is just as interesting, if not more interesting, as the film itself. Chapter 2.
It's weird that it's a horror war film. I feel like this movie would make you cry. And I love a movie that can do that. I think those are not the best films, because like in my top 5 movies, none of them would be sad films. But I think a movie that can make you cry is probably the best film. That one of the best films you'll see. If like mid-film you're like actually bawling, like they genuinely moved you. Because for you to cry in a film, you have to actually believe the reality of it. And yes, this is based off actual accounts, so it's not really necessarily a documentary, but it's like taking off real world actions and things that occurred. But like when they rope you into a film to the point where you're so engrossed into them and the character that you cry when bad things happen, my God, that's cinematic master. That's the meme. Cinema.
There are 3 people that contributed most to this film that I think we should go over. First, let's discuss Elem Klimov, the director of the film. He was born in 1933 in Stalingrad, in what was then the Soviet Union. From an early age, he would experience the horrors of war, which he would use later in Come and See. During one of the city's most devastating battles, he, his mother, and his baby brother were forced to flee via raft through a burning river into the mountains. The city was ablaze up to the top of the sky. The river was also burning. It was night. Bombs were exploding, and mothers were covering their children with whatever bedding they had. and then they would lie on top of them. As a young boy, I had been in hell. This experience through hell would live with Klimov forever. Yet despite these beginnings, he eventually found his way into film. He started his career with comedies and satires. Nearly every film that he's made has faced some form of interference, delays, or even bans from the Soviet authorities. Yet despite the censorships, he would go on to make these types of films, until 1979, when something terrible happened. His wife, Larissa Shepitko, also an acclaimed filmmaker, had died in a car accident. And to say that her death devastated Klimov is a gross understatement. Shortly after her death, he fell into a deep depression, turned to alcohol, and created a 25-minute documentary honoring her legacy. And even more notably,
well, we talked about this previously too. When men lose their wives, they're much worse off statistically than women losing their husbands. Because when you think about it, who, as a man generally, the only people that truly interact with you on a deep level are your mom and your wife, sometimes a friend. But I'm saying men don't really open up to other men. They don't really have deep conversations with other men. And so it's a lot harder to lose that person when you have so few of those people. Women are not always, and I'm not saying this is applicable to all men and all women, but women generally can fall back on other women a lot easier than men can, because you don't have that stronger relationships with men. Women usually, at least from what I've seen, women tend to have a lot closer bonds than men do. And I'm not saying that men aren't friends or close friends with each other, but a lot of that shit doesn't get real deep, right? Guys get real deep when they get drunk, right? And you're like, man, I really love you, bro. You're like, you truly care about me, and I really fuck with that. You don't have that sober conversation with another male friend. Usually. You do at times, but most of those things, it's like you're drunk and you're like, I love you. Women will just have those conversations and talk about deep things, right? And guys will do that with their mom. Guys will do that with their wife, right? So it's like, that is horrible. He already lived a terrible life, and now he has to fucking lose his wife on top of that. And what, did that motivate him to make this film?
he never made another comedy again. All of his subsequent...
Wow. That's got to be that really hurt him then. Because I feel like people use comedy a lot of the time to get out of shitty situations and perceive shitty things in a better light. Like, a lot of the time you use jokes and comedy about fucked up things that happen to you because it makes you feel better about them. Yeah, it's a coping mechanism, making things funny. That's why, not all comedians, but, the people that you would deem as most funny in your life, a lot of the time went through shit because, top-tier comedians have to willingly joke about the stuff they went through.
Were repeatedly blocking his project, but he refused to compromise, and he knew the film was too important, that if he were to make it, it had to be done right. Finally, in 1985, something incredible happened. This is Hatyn. It is a bone-chilling recount of the Hatyn massacre, a massacre in which the Nazis locked an entire village into a barn and then set the barn on fire, with half of the inhabitants being children. The occupation of Belarus was one of the most brutal campaigns of World War II. Over 600 villages met the same fate. The book was formed from a collection of testimonies from those who somehow survived. This is the writer, Ales Adamovich. In June 1941, when the war came to Belarus, he was just 13 years old. After the war, Adamovich became a writer. Him and his co-authors would travel across Belarus, collecting real survivor testimonies. He ended up co-writing the novel Hatyn, which would become one of the primary sources for Come and See. Several directors were pitched to adapt his stories, but Adamovich refused them all. He insisted that there was only one director who could do the material justice. Together, they would create something that didn't glorify war or turn it into an adventure story, but showed as it truly was. But even with Adamovich and Klimov's clear vision, the film remained censored for years until 1985, when the 40th anniversary of Victory Day finally gave them the opening they needed. They had the green light, but they still needed one more piece: the boy. Alexei Kravchenko was not an actor. In fact, he didn't care about the film world at all. He had only showed up to the audition to support his friend, who wanted the lead role. Kravchenko went along for moral support, nothing more. And it turns out he ended up being chosen. To prepare Kravchenko for the role, Klimov...
But why did they pick this kid that had no interest in acting to play a very gritty, sad role in basically an adaptation of an actual historical event?
Put him on a strict hunger diet. For days at a time, the 14-year-old would only drink water and run long...
They made him starve himself, oh my god, to make it look like he was like in a famine, like just fully like thinning himself.
Distances to lose weight. Klimov was also deeply concerned about the potential psychological toll the film would take.
Oh my god. Well, because they were making him like method act almost too. Like not even just lose the weight to fit the, I guess, physical sense of the role, but also like make him feel and look exhausted constantly.
The lead. To protect Kravchenko, Klimov brought in a psychotherapist trained in hypnosis. The plan was to hypnotize Kravchenko during the most violent scenes so they wouldn't traumatize them. But after testing, they discovered that Kravchenko was not susceptible to hypnosis. Kravchenko would later describe the shoot as the happy recollections of my childhood. After the film wrapped, Kravchenko did not act again for another 13 years. Chapter 3. Making Hell on Earth. From the very start, Klimov had one guiding principle: tell the truth. Klimov's goal was to capture as much realism as possible. Each member of the cast and crew felt a huge responsibility to those who had died. As Klimov said, "I have the will to tell the story for truth, even if it takes 9 months to make the movie, and even if..."
Well, that's what sucks about a lot of American like war films is we like broadcast ourselves as the heroes and the victims a lot of the time when we're the ones that are like actively just fucking killing innocent people. Like, not in every instance. I'm not saying like World War II films, but like every Vietnam film is like, not everyone, but a lot of Vietnam War films, it's like, oh, dude, they make you feel for the Americans. When it's like, yeah, we are Americans, obviously you're going to have some sort of feeling for them, but it's like they kind of like overshadow the fact that like we were just like effectively murdering innocent Vietnamese people in like regular ass situation. Not even just like, hey, we're sending you to war because you have to fight these people. They would just like kill innocent fucking families in Vietnam.
If no one watches it. The production designer Viktor Petrov initially tried using pyrotechnics for the explosions. But when Klimov saw the results, he wasn't satisfied. The explosions didn't sound real, they didn't feel real. So Klimov made the ultimate decision that would shock everyone: to use real explosives and live ammunition. This created an atmosphere of real terror among the actors. In one scene, Kravchenko...
Real terror among the actors, bro, but they could have died.
...and a cow were placed in the middle of a field while live rounds were fired around them. Kravchenko was so terrified that he found himself clinging to Klimov after, asking, "Is there anything else?" Klimov told him to go back into the scene. The entirety of the film was shot on location in Belarus. Everything was real. Even the extras, the villagers, were real survivors or descendants of survivors from the Belarusian fire villages.
That's awesome.
To prepare the villagers, Ales Adamovich gathered them in a circle and read chapters from his book. He recounted the testimonies of those who had survived the horrors of war. Many of the villagers had heard stories from their parents or grandparents. Some had survived the war as children. The entire crew was under constant stress. But as the production designer later said, all the hardships helped us. Everyone was under constant strain, and it had a powerful effect on the crew. God himself was helpful to us, for the fog not lifting.
Dude, it fucking blows, man. Ugh. Oh, this is making me sad. This is making me sad. Stop.
For the special effects to work, for the crowd scenes with the locals and army personnel to work in harmony. Chapter 4, True.
It's horrible that humans are like the biggest threat to ourselves. Like, obviously, we're all going to die one day, but, like, all of the horrible things that happen to humans, yes, there's natural disasters. Yes, there's disease. But, like, most things that you cite historically, it's like, yeah, other humans effectively murdering, torturing, and committing genocide against other people.
And yet, despite all this gore and destruction...
I always wonder how, like, they showcase, like, utter shock so well.
This is Roger Deakins, widely considered to be the greatest cinematographer.
I never understand how movie actors do that. Like, fully get into the brain and mindset of somebody living in that instance.
Of all time. And he's labeled Come and See as mandatory viewing.
Conrad Orr used to say he was really trying to create beauty with ugliness. You know, he wanted to make ugly films that were beautiful, which seems a total contradiction. But, you know, how do you film something that is so brutal but engage the audience with it? That's the key to the film, in a way, that the horror is something you imagine right until the end, when obviously you see the real footage, and then Klimov is basically saying, I could have shown you something much worse.
After screening in East Germany, a former soldier who had been stationed in Belarus approached Klimov and said, "Everything you showed is true, but I tried to forget about it and never told anyone. Now, when my children see this film, I don't know what to tell them." And for some reason, even decades later, the film seems more relevant than ever before. As the writer Joseph Brodsky once said, in a real tragedy, it is not the hero who perishes, it is the chorus.
Like that, dude, that is, like, this kid's 14, and they made him look so disheveled. Like, he looks like an old man. They do that so well.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you very, very soon.
I understand why they chose him, because I feel like he fits the role very well, but it's weird how, like, he's not even an actor, and they were like, nah, we need this kid to be the main actor for this. Director decided that trauma needed to go to another generation when casting the lead. No one wasn't harmed in the making of this movie. Half expected you to say, in this man isn't acting, he was really shot and killed. Why isn't there a hero? I don't glorify war. Damn. There are a few war movies that do that well, though, outside of that. But there are a lot where it's like Inglourious Bastards is one of my favorite movies. But it's not like, I don't want to say it's not accurate. It's a fucking Quentin Tarantino film, you know? Like, it's not a true, like, war movie. You know what I mean? Like, there's war movies that are, like, for entertainment, but also have, like, showing a purpose. But then there's war movies that are like that. And they're actually trying to show you, like, the gritty horrors of I guess, war in general. Hacksaw Ridge. I feel like I saw Hacksaw Ridge in, like, middle school. Yeah. He is a hero, though, in Hacksaw Ridge. Is he not?
I know a child with this. What advice can you give me in terms of care? Well, firstly, no child has antisocial personality disorder. All they can have is callous, unemotional traits and conduct disorder, which I had. If you have a kid who is showing the kind of callous emotional traits that you would see in a sociopath, it's very important to take that child to the right sort of therapy early. Because even when I was 21, which is when I got diagnosed, my psychiatrist, he's a forensic psychiatrist, he mainly works with prisoners, he wasn't quick to give me my label because he thought, look, you're 21.
Wait. Side note. Have you ever watched, so, like, She's saying she can feel sadness and happiness. But she doesn't feel empathy. So when she is like watching a movie, like a sad movie, is there never like a moment where she would cry? You know? For example, Rocket. This is maybe a bad example, but this is one of the most recent films where I fully cried that I can spoil because it's been a while. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Rocket's friends, if you remember. The bunny, the walrus. They were murdered. And then in the movie he goes, it's like that, like a really exaggerated cry. I cried, right? So would she not get upset there? Or like in The Long Walk, I'm not going to spoil it because it's a great movie and I want you to go watch it. In the ending of The Long Walk, I cried. It wasn't affecting me. No way you cried to that shit. That was sad. Sociopath. No. I'm kidding. That was sad as fuck. What are you talking about? You're telling me the scene where the little bunny is like, and we're getting out, right, Rocket? Boom! He walks in and they're just dead. Like all of his friends are dead. Like that was sad as shit. I cried in theater. In theater. That was so sad. I cried the most watching The Long Walk recently. What are other really sad films that I've cried? I used to not cry in movies, not because I didn't want to, but because I thought it was weak to. Now, I love a sad movie. I have to be in the mood for a sad film, but like, I love going to like see a sad movie. I'll cry in public. I don't care. If I'm watching like a sad fucking film and I'm in a movie theater, I don't give a shit. I'll be like, it's usually never that though. It'll just be like a silent tears running down my eye type shit. Cars 1 and 2. Cars 1 and 2. What fucking scene in Cars 1 made you cry? What scene? Mater's death. Mater didn't die.
Eventually, he just realized that it was immutable in me. It was completely immutable. There was nothing that they could do to change that. All he could do was show me how bad the prisons were in order for me to not commit strong acts of violence. But yeah, no children can have this, and no child is just a monster from childhood. Like, no child is like that. Like, even when I was 3, I mean, my mum used to call me a monster, which I thought was, like, quite despicable to say to a 3-year-old. But, you know, it is what it is.
And you mentioned therapy. What is the purpose of that therapy? What's the kind of end goal?
Therapy was, I don't think it was effective in, let's say, curing the sociopathy or psychopathy.
No, I think it would be more so teaching her, like, hey, we know you have this condition. This is the ways that you're going to have to work around it to live a normal life.
It wasn't like that. It was more just managing the symptoms rather than treating them. Because the thing is with therapy, it can make you worse because it teaches you how to manipulate more effectively and which language to use to extract the most you can out of other people and still sound decent and humane while you're doing it. So I don't think therapy is necessarily effective, but it is.
Bro, I will notice the slow blinking. There's no way that's a true trait, though, of, like, every sociopath. But she blinks so slow. Like, watch her blink.
Necessarily effective, but it is nice to have someone who you can vent to who won't judge you. Which,
like,
is fun. Do sociopaths thrive in leadership positions? Yes, we do. I did exceptionally well in leadership positions, in politics, in finance. It's just...
Yeah, aren't, like, CEOs of companies, like, way higher percentages of sociopaths and psychopaths than, like, any other fucking position? Like, being the head of a company, largely, you have a higher chance of being somebody that is a sociopath.
It's exactly what we were born to do. Like, we are born to rule, I believe. Because we are not encumbered by, like, the ills of society, the society.
I would not say sociopaths are born to rule. I think that they're born to be put in positions where hard decisions need to be made and they have to be callous about it, but not a full leading position. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think you should have a leader that feels no remorse or guilt at the top, but I think that who that guy employs to do other segmented things, you could have a sociopath lead and do very well. But you don't want the guy making the decisions and calling the shots to be a sociopath.
We can make the decisions that would cripple empaths. Like, we are able to do things that will create profits no matter whose neck we have to step on. And that's really what you need in these positions. And I think also it's a constructive way to use what our nature gave us.
Do you think a lot of world leaders are sociopaths or psychopaths?
Oh, 100%, 100%. I don't necessarily want to get sued, but let me just say a lot of world leaders are very sociopathic, if not full-blown antisocial personality disorder. What stops you from acting out when someone like Bundy didn't? So Bundy had the privilege of existing in the 1970s when surveillance wasn't a thing, and we didn't have Uber, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have Meta, like, tracking our every movement.
What does it mean Bundy didn't? Bundy did. What stops you acting out when somebody like Bundy didn't? Does that mean didn't stop acting out? Because Ted Bundy murdered 1 million people. Yeah, very weird that she's a privilege. I think she's saying that he's not some super genius, right? As a serial killer, he was privileged to be in a time that enabled him to do the things that he did without immediately getting caught. Like, somebody like Ted Bundy today would have been, you know, found the week after he killed somebody.
Meta, like, tracking our every movement. When the police didn't understand how DNA worked, that was something that Bundy was very, very privileged to have. Unfortunately now, one thing is I don't have the size advantage. Like, I would have to do something very stealthy if I'm trying to get rid of somebody, whereas a man can use physical strength to overpower somebody. Which I think Bundy was just, he had the freedom to do it. He had the motive to do it. That was the only thing that really gave him joy. Whereas I can get joy out of other domains, even if it means like turning down my sadism. I can still get joy from other things that I do, which I think the ones who are very violent and it's tied to their sexuality, it's kind of like they go to a certain level and they just can't come back. And so I always try to understand where that threshold is for me, and understand that if I go past that, I'm going to throw my entire life away. And I can throw minor things away. Like, I can throw away a year or like 2. But if I commit an act of brutality, there's like a 99% chance I will get caught because I'd be sloppy. Like, Bundy himself was also sloppy, but a lot of them weren't. There were a lot of—
Bro, Bundy was the sloppiest serial killer of all time. That motherfucker got caught and ran away like 5 times.
them were clean about what they did. And even if they weren't, like, no one was going to catch them. Whereas for me, I'd get caught real quick. So I don't have that luxury. I don't have the strength luxury, and I don't have the ability to spend a long time incarcerated. And I understand where my threshold is. And
wow, she's talking about this in a very matter-of-fact way. Like, not that she's basically saying that she doesn't kill people. The way that I'm feeling like this is like she's saying she doesn't kill people not because she doesn't want to, but because it doesn't make sense to.
Whereas for me, I'd get caught real quick. So I don't have that luxury. I don't have the strength luxury, and I don't have the ability to spend a long time incarcerated. And I understand where my threshold is, and clearly a lot of these people didn't, especially Bundy.
Do you think what he...
Brady said, I feel like she needs to be institutionalized. I don't know. I feel like she is I think she knows that she has these weird, like, I guess, urges, but she's, like, not acting on them is the way that it's, like, being portrayed. Like, she has these rage moments where she probably has maybe felt like she wants to kill somebody, but didn't.
He did was wrong?
Yes, I do think what he did was wrong. I do think he deserved the death penalty, and I do think he could have never been rehabilitated. I believe that he would have tried to escape again. Ted...
Yeah, I think I've had the take with prisons that I think the U.S. focuses too much on punishment rather than rehabilitation, but I think there is a type of criminal such as, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer, John Wayne Gacy, Ted Bundy, where they are too far gone. They have crossed over the horizon and they'll never return, right? Like, there's a level of being crazy where you can't come back.
If sociopaths ran the world, what would get better? Our transport systems, they'd be a lot faster. We would get to where we need to be because we have to backstab some people on time. We would be...
I feel like that's just like a random throw out guess. I think in certain countries, sure, but it's more so like what are the wills and aspirations of the individual that's in power, right? If the sociopath in power doesn't give a fuck about public transportation, they're not going to implement public transportation. Like that, I feel like that's just not true.
Excellent surgeons, so hospitals would be of the highest quality if you could afford to go, because we just want to have material gain. We want to have material gain, we want to have social dominance, and we want to live in a world that worships the kind of people that we are. So we would create the most efficient but heartless city and country.
I could get under the idea that like a sociopath isn't necessarily just like, it is for financial gain, but a sociopath isn't necessarily going to fully lean into just like a hardcore unmonitored monopoly-esque capitalist society, because that would be like a short-term game, long-term downfall. So like, even though they wouldn't care about the people at the bottom, they would realize that they have to for the purpose of bettering themselves. Like, even if you are a sociopath and you're in power and you don't care about poor people, you have to care about poor people, because if the poor people get so bad that they can't work and survive, then your entire economy collapses, because people at the top need people at the bottom.
Do you think humanity would survive if everyone was a sociopath?
Yes, I think it would be a very productive society. It would be...
Well, then it would just be the norm.
Very streamlined. We would probably have more deaths, more murders, more violent crime, but our whole budget, it would run pretty well, because we have the control, we have the desire to take as much of that profit as we can. So with everybody trying to take it...
I'm going to full disagree, because if you would have to restructure the entire government to basically have like an individual, like we would have to run like an oligarchy society, because if you had sociopaths in every single part of parliament or office, rather, like if you had the entire House, the entire Senate, all of Congress is a sociopath, they're all going to be manipulating in a way that they're trying to get self-gain, which kind of actually seems like what's happening right now. But,
do you wish you were different? No. No, I like my life. I like who I am. I like how I can do things that other people would be scared to do. I like that I take risks. I like that I'm able to find connection with people in a way that they find meaningful. I'm glad that I don't have to worry about rejection, anxiety, abandonment. I just don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna be real. I don't give a fuck about losing people. If someone is offended by something that I do, all right, piss off. Sayonara. I don't care. If someone thinks that...
Chat, for all the people that saying she's mental, she's stoned, she's not mental, she's not stoned. She's a diagnosed sociopath. This is the entire point of the video. What are we doing? What are we saying? She's insane. What is she talking about? That's the point of the video. Is she is a diagnosed sociopath. She does not feel empathy for other people.
That I need them to live, I will cut you off. Like, I managed to cut off siblings who I lived in the same room, same house with. Like, literally, I didn't talk to my brother for about 2 years, and we lived in the same house. So it's kind of it's very freeing, and I appreciate that. I appreciate not being hung up on guilt and feeling shitty about situations I can't change. I only think of the present. I don't think about the past. I don't think about the future. I live life properly. Have you
I do understand the freeing aspect of that sense. Like, she doesn't hold any regret. Like, the regret wouldn't consume her, which is good and bad, depending on what it's about.
I've been in love. I've been in love twice. I'm in love now. I think for me, love is an act. It's not a feeling. I will appreciate someone's value in my life, and I will decide to love them. I will do whatever's in their best interest, because I see them as an extension of myself, and I would never want myself to be harmed. So if anyone with me is, you know,
Bro, she reminds me so much of that artist from Dexter. What is that woman? What is that woman's name? From, like, season 2, Lila.
Attacked or bullied
From
or
Dexter.
treated poorly by anybody, I will be there no matter what. And yes, I would risk present for them, because if someone's going to harm them, then I would rather neutralize that and then go to prison than allow that torment to continue. So in terms of romantic love, I think my loyalty is second to none. And if I've decided to be in a relationship with you, I will put you above all else. And I will every single day love you as an action. And I don't just do flowery words. Like, I will go out and do the exact things that make that person happy. And I think it's a more effective way to love than empaths.
Can two sociopaths be in a relationship?
Yes, two sociopaths actually could be in a relationship, but they would be in a power struggle constantly and like trying to outplay each other. Or they could become notorious.
I just couldn't get behind the idea that you would have the worry of being with a sociopath that could theoretically just discard you at any moment and not care. Like, you could be in a loving relationship with a sociopath, knowing they're a sociopath, and then they could, like, I'm not saying they would do this, right? Because she values the idea of a relationship and values loyalty and values love. But, like, theoretically, you could have somebody that's a sociopath flat out cheat on you, not feel bad about it at all, and then just leave you.
How manipulative are you? I am the most manipulative person you will ever meet. Like, I am so good at it. I don't mean to boast, but like, my manipulations are so fantastic. And I can lie better than I would say anybody. I would pass a lie detector test so easily.
Wow.
The lies are what makes the sociopath. The lies are the only things keeping us going. Okay, we are so good at lying. That's like our number one like hobby, our number one skill. Lying is like, it's like breathing oxygen, because it's not a lie if you believe it.
Have you lied during this interview?
No, unfortunately, I have been honest. As goes with the territory, I was informed that.
Oh, well, this would be a pointless interview if she lied during it, because then we wouldn't actually be understanding what it's like to be a sociopath. So thankfully, or hopefully, she didn't lie, because then this was an entirely meaningless video. The eyes are pretty soulless. She matches her own description perfectly. Honestly, yeah, dude. She had very, like, cat-like eyes. I don't have the luxury of killing somebody without getting caught. Phew. Description that she doesn't have the luxury to harm somebody's crazy. All right. I gotta piss real quick. Just kind of chucks it to the side. Yeah, live grenade. There's a little pin thing here. Don't really know what happens if I pull it.
I think that's all of it.
I like that he keeps it organized, though.
Yeah, that's all. And I got something else for to show you.
Oh my God, we're going to the shelf for this? This is going to be a creme de la creme item. We're leaving the tubs. Holding. Okay, you did not fucking find that underground.
This is Avon chicken.
Okay.
See if you can see the back underneath there. It's Avon. It's plastic and part porcelain. This is another one of those perfume bottles from Avon.
What?
Oh, don't fall off.
What is Avon? A perfume company?
Then here's two more. This one.
That's a perfume company? Why are people putting perfume in like a goose? Perfume, not perfume. Oh my God, there's liquid in it.
Yeah.
That shit probably smells terrible. That's the perfume that your grandma buys.
Anything else? Oh, yeah.
Old makeup company? Yeah, probably has lead in it.
I got something else to show you here.
Brother, what is that? An old pack of gum? You got stuff on the back here?
Oh, yeah. And then these are other medallions.
There's so many medallions. I firmly believe M&J Metal has stumbled upon something that's worth thousands of dollars and doesn't know. Like, through all the metal detecting he's done, he's probably found some sort of rare medallion, and he's just like, don't know what that is. Just chucks it to the side. It's just sitting in a bin. We gotta go get some of this stuff valued. We gotta get this guy a show. Get him some experts from Pawn Stars. Well, let me call my guy. He flies some guy out from, like, fucking South Africa. Some precious metal expert. Yeah, so I got all this for you. It's just trash. It's just garbage. What a good show that would be. He's just like, all right, I got these. It's just a bunch of plastic bins full of just, like, metal scraps. All right, now you got to look through it all.
That's about it for today. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it wasn't interesting, but whatever.
That was fucking amazing, dude. What are you talking about? These are my favorite ones.
And thanks for everybody. Oh yeah, no, so have a good day, everybody.
Bro, he's so nice. I fucking love M&J Metal, man. Gaming. See, now this is gonna be big because he's done some gaming showcases before where he shows the games that he has, but this is the first time we're seeing the setup itself. He's got the PS5 in the corner. We've got an older TV with Mafia the Old Country on it. Great game, by the way. And a poster of Friday the 13th. Millennial pause. And he's also, this is the first time I've seen somebody, this is a new setup, right? Somebody's filming him. Ten seconds. Old record was 17.
Hello, YouTube.
Ooh, that was close. That was close. I have to ask, did the person recording not go? Nor if you get your friend to record you, they're recording, they go, and then you start, right? You start talking. Like if did somebody recording him just like start recording and then he's just like guessing when they started? Like there's no way.
How's everybody doing out there today? How you guys and gals doing out there? Today I'm going to be playing a little game called Mafia the Old Country. So
on a Toshiba.
Yeah.
Oh God, are we gonna watch him play the game? Like one of those TikTok lives where somebody has like a mirror on their phone and they're just like showing the console inverted. Gotta give it a minute. Toshiba's gotta load up. Oh, surely we start a new game. Oh, we're just continuing. We're picking up where the gameplay left off. All right. Give it a minute. Ooh, starting mid-fight as well. Let's see the gameplay.